سبحان فالق الإصباح.
Ding dong. Hello?
Yes, that's right, infidels. You found us here, channelattitude.com, Heyman Media Group, where you get the most real talk, the best reviews of all your favorite wrestling shows from AEW and WWE, Impact, and more, because we're going to break it all down with the best staff in professional wrestling at HMG. So you don't need to go anywhere else, because there's no 5 stars here. There's only $5 face slaps, infidel. Allahu Akbar! So sign up today, channelattitude.com, Heyman Media Group, and join the Heyman Army for the most real talk in professional wrestling. YOLO!
Warning. The following video clip contains strong language and has therefore been rated 18+ by the YouTube NECCA. Viewer discretion is advised.
The PWC Network. What the world is watching and listening to.
Hello everyone and welcome to the PWC Saturday edition Smachismo. I'm your host Jimmy T and my co-host is the Gunner of Doom. He is the foreign object. He's even Evil Dose, I think. I'm not even sure yet. But it's Dr. Jeff Lippman. Welcome back to the Smachismo, and we're doing episode 4, I believe, actually, Jeff.
Oh, I don't know. But hello everyone. And listen, this is one of those strange weeks, but getting a little bit less strange, where Raw was better than SmackDown. Raw seems like it, if for the most part, had a purpose and was advancing stories, and SmackDown, not so much.
Ugh, SmackDown sucked, dude. Let's be honest. And we did just do the Smack Attack over at channelattitude.com. If you want to check us out, talking all sorts of things. Actually, we had some great debates, as a matter of fact, Jeff.
Spent a lot of time on Lance Archer and Dominic Mysterio.
That's true. Probably, you know what? I don't think anyone has talked in depth about Lance Archer or Dominic Mysterio like we did. Let's be honest, Jeff.
I'm not even sure his family talks this much about Lance Archer.
Well, you know what? To be fair, John, he's actually great friends with Lance Archer, and
I figured that he had to know him personally to have that much of an investment.
They really do, and they're actually good friends, and it's pretty cool, man. I mean, I've even interacted with Lance Archer myself, and he's a top guy, man. He really is, but that's sort of the problem too. When you're too much of a nice guy, and then you do that gimmick, you know, and knowing that he's a nice guy, it can sort of throw you off a little bit. But that's cool. I can keep it kayfabe. It's all good.
Well, you just broke kayfabe. Congratulations, being the elite. Jimmy Hungry.
Shut up. I ain't hungry for that shit. But then again, everything does come back to penis here at the PWC. There's our first penis comment of the evening or the afternoon, as a matter of fact. Well, Jeff, let's talk about a little bit of Raw. I mean, Raw was a lot better than SmackDown. I mean, and I will say it. I'm going to say it. SmackDown sucked because we were in Evansville. But it is what it is. But it shouldn't matter, like you said, because it is the road to WrestleMania. But Raw, on the other hand, was coming from Ottawa in Canada. And we start off with Sami Zayn. He's there. I mean, him and Kevin Owens, seems like everything is not so rosy over there.
How did you recognize this Sami Zayn with his disguise?
Oh, wow. True. I've got X-ray vision, Jeff. I mean, you know, come on. Seriously. But, and let's be honest, how many times has he done the same exact thing anyway, Jeff?
Like every week. It was fun like the first time, but after that, like, what's with the black hoodie? Come on, man.
Yeah, I know. It looks a little, you know, I don't want to say like homeless, but yeah. Oh, but before we get into that, Homeboy88 says, hello, Jimmy and Jeff, my two favorite JJs. Or double J's.
Ain't we great?
We are, aren't we great? Exactly. Exactly. And Homeboy, man, sorry I didn't call you back before, by the way, dude. Because, you know, obviously I went to visit a friend, but we'll talk about that later on. Anyway, like I was saying, we did get Sami Zayn, we got KO. I really can't stand this little bromance thing. I mean, not bromance, but like Kevin Owens comes across like the, you know, the sore sort of ex-girlfriend.
He is.
But so does Sami Zayn at the same time. This is just too...
Listen, Sami says, I know I've done wrong, but I want you back. And Kevin's like, you've done me wrong every 6 months for 20 years. It's too late, baby. No, it's too late.
That's bullshit, because it was KO that's done Sami Zayn wrong for the last 20 years, really.
If anybody should be able to forgive, it should be Kevin Owens. This is true. But remember, for the last 3 years, he's been going, I'm not that person anymore. I'm trying to rebuild my image. You know, then he turns heel on the New Day for 6 weeks, but then they remember they need a face again. And
that's what I mean. What is he, Jeff? Is he a heel? Is he a baby face? I don't know, man.
He's whatever he needs to be in the moment.
But is that a good
song
thing?
by Vertical Horizon? He is everything you need. He is everything.
Thing you want as well? I mean,
he's all the right places. Says exactly the right thing.
Tell Jeff about my last episode and to listen to it.
Homeboy, contact me yourself. This is not a way for us to speak. I mean, literally, if we had a medium and a psychic like translating for us, it would be more efficient than this.
Well, actually, I listened to his last episode, and I actually want you to listen to it. And it's only short. His shows don't really go for that long, especially compared to ours.
Is it Jimmy Sex short or what?
No. It's it's short. It really is. Like, but in a good way. But yeah. But no, really, because there's this guy. Remember, did he mention? I'm pretty sure you were on the show about Brian Meltzer.
Yes. He was very excited that he got an interview with Brian Meltzer, and we're like, who the fuck is Brian Meltzer?
Yeah. Well, check that out, because he will piss you off. I'm telling you now, man.
Oh, good. Just what I need. More. You know what? I'll listen to it after I see Cocaine Bear. How's that sound?
Oh, there you go. Actually, that's a good thing. I want to see that too, man. Everyone says that he's a great movie.
No, I'm totally going to see it. It's just a question of when. I mean,
is it on? Is it only at the theaters, or is it also on television?
No, it's in the theaters. And you know what? I think Cocaine Bear is something I want to see in the theaters. I think I'm probably going to go tomorrow night, and I'll probably end up, I'll be by myself, and I'll go in the back row where I can't bother anyone.
I had to sort of replay that sentence in my head.
I hate going to the movies by myself. I hate doing that. I mean, 2 years in a row, I've not gone to concerts because Viv made these like last second trips to Ecuador, and I couldn't, I didn't want to unload the tickets because I figured someone would come with me, and in neither case did anyone want to come with me because I'm awful. So I missed Earth, Wind, and Fire and the Spinners and ate the money.
You know what? I can relate, man. I've wanted. There's been times where I've wanted to go to the wrestling, right? And then for whatever reason, some of my friends don't want to go, or Douglas over here doesn't want to go. And then I'm like, fuck, man, I don't know if I can go on my own. right? Like, and then
But
I think
will go
about it,
to
I
a
thought,
movie.
fuck it, I'll go on my own, but then I just don't end up doing it.
Like if it was like classical music, I would go to that myself because I would feel like a lot of people go to classical music themselves and pretend that they love all the art of all. But a regular concert, like when you're supposed to get up and dance, no, you're not going to be that guy dancing by myself. No,
that's weird. Let's be honest.
Yeah, but going to a movie, I mean, I don't enjoy going to movies myself, but I've done it, and on a Sunday night, you know, I figure that's a low impact. Like it's not the kind where like the chances are good. Like I'll run into my ex-wife and all her friends, and they'll be like, "Ah, you have no friends."
Yeah, bad. What do you mean Brandon Meltzer might come in today to promote that episode?
Where's he going to come in? Into this show? Good.
Is he? Yeah,
we'll
is that what's happening?
Is it Brendan Meltzer or Brian Meltzer?
It's Brendan Meltzer. What did I call him?
I don't know.
Did I say his name right, homeboy? I don't
Just
even know
call him BM. Listen, have BM send us a DM or Dave Meltzer send us a BM. No. We want BM to send us a DM.
Yeah,
we definitely don't want a BM from DM.
And to be honest, homeboy, I want Jeff to hear the show before he kind of jumps on, so he can rip him a new one, just quietly.
For the love of Christ, I don't want to rip anyone any new ones. I'm tired.
I'm telling you, man, you're gonna get so pissed about his thoughts on professional wrestling.
Listen, I'm not going to listen to it until Homeboy contacts me like a normal human being.
He means that, homeboy, just quietly. I'm telling you, man. When he says
I need some touch of normalcy in my podcasting life. I need people to just be just a little normal.
Yeah, I know. To be fair, I think we all let Jeff down more so than anything than him letting us down. But yeah, we've all got our flaws. Anyway, though, let's. Yeah, of course. I mean, we're all not perfect. Let's be honest. But you know, Jeff maybe is
even me.
More, you know, really, even you.
Yeah, I'm a little bit overweight.
Well, so am I. But shh. But anyway, let's not talk about the weight. Let's go back to Sami and KO. Because we did sidetrack.
Yep.
I liked it, but didn't like it really, and this was kind of a waste of time for me.
I feel differently than you because I feel like everybody wants the trigger to be pulled, but triggers aren't going to be pulled until it's closer to WrestleMania, and I'm okay with the slow pacing. As I said on
so
SmackDown.
Now you know what's going on because you said on SmackDown, well, maybe they'll go a different route, but you know deep down they're not.
But I don't mind. Listen, have I loved every single segment? Have I loved everything they've done along the way? No. But overall, I didn't love everything in the first MCU that culminated in Endgame, but I loved the entire thing. So, I'm treating this the same way. And yes, I think I know where it's going to take us and where I think it should end, which is where everybody thinks it should end. But the waiting for it, the anticipation is part of it. And some of the slow burn I like, and yes, there's going to be filler in between. The thing I don't like so much is that they feel the need to put this on TV every week and sometimes 2 shows a week, as opposed to just let us wait. Just let's focus on something.
They're overdoing it now, aren't they?
Yeah, they're. It's like it's overkill. They have other stories that they could pay more attention to. I'd like to know more about what MVP is trying to do. I would like to see Bray Wyatt win some matches. I would like to see LA Knight win some matches.
Another fucking great point.
Yeah, I mean there are other things they could spend that time doing. Differentiate their women's division more by having some matches. I don't know. I don't. I'd like them to introduce a women's mid-card title and listen, pull an AEW, do a tournament now for these next 4 weeks that culminates in WrestleMania.
But the problem with AEW, they do a battle royale or a fucking tournament. Feels like every second week, man. I know it's not. I know the problem with
AEW. I'm just saying that you can. I mean, when I say do an AEW, it's just because they do tournaments so frequently. I mean, tournaments are nothing new. AEW didn't. Listen, mostly I want this because I want Xia Li to have a goddamn title, or like someone like that. Exactly, and not just them, but yes, mostly them. But like a Shotzi, people like that I like who are probably not going to be in the world title picture ever. Well, Lacey Evans might, but
oh, she should be. Lacey should. But I've got good news though, Jeff, and I'm sure you probably already know this.
Chabello's in the chat. What?
No, but he probably is. Shout out to the professor. Check out what this past week's Wednesday Night Skirmish. Where
watch part of it live and then listen again.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, what I wanted to touch on was we got an announcement that apparently King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring is coming back, and it's going to be a pay-per-view this time and in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, that's fine. That's cool. I mean, that's good. They look for little gimmicks to do in Saudi Arabia. Listen, I don't care about the King of the Ring or the Queen of the Ring. These are stupid gimmicks that
I used to love that pay-per-view back in the day, dude.
when you're a
Even
kid,
when
it was
first
fun. But
started.
let's be honest. By the third year, it was mostly crap. You had the Macho King. You had Harley Race as the king.
Yeah,
And
but
then,
that was
and
the
then,
house
like,
show King of the Rings, though. That was happening long before
yeah,
it was
then-
an actual event.
King Booker was fun for a little bit, but
That was
aside,
brilliant.
But aside from that, it's mostly been garbage. I mean, I think Baron Corbin was king once. I mean,
He
it's
was.
King Shinsuke, King
That's true,
Xavier
too.
Woods has been embarrassing. I mean, it's
That's true. King
Queen
Pac.
Zelina. Nobody remembers she's Queen Zelina. She's still in her reign, technically.
True, I forgot. But Pac was also the King of the Ring, wasn't he?
I don't even remember. You
I'm
could be.
pretty sure he was. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know. The thing is, but for Saudi Arabia, it's fine. It's a gimmick thing to get people here to watch for nostalgia, and the live crowd's going to eat it up. But as far as it being a year-long gimmick, it does nothing for me. It comes with nothing. It should at least come with a title shot.
I agree. Homeboy says, I'm thinking of calling in and cutting a fucking promo on Jeff. I told you to give me his number or give him my number. And also, he said in the chat, give him my email 3 times. Did
All
you?
right, listen
I don't
to
really
me.
call that.
Listen,
Tell him,
I told you
Jeff, tell him.
just like Ric Flair with winning and losing titles. Every time you've said, give me your number, I've said, no, I'm not giving you my number.
Thank
as far
you.
as email in the chat, I told you, I looked in the chat, it wasn't there. You can put it in the chat right now.
Yeah, put it on it. I don't remember seeing that
copy
either.
it. Put it in the chat right now. I will copy it, and I will send you an email while we're on the air that says test.
There you go. There's your answer, homeboy. Don't get so upset, man. Come on. Jesus, Jeff's a busy man. He does how many shows these days? Let's be honest. I mean, shit, how many shows do we do?
Depends when you're around.
No, but also, like, how many shows, like, especially if we're on point, even, on our network, if you include, Uncaged and Smack Attack and say we do every show like normal on the PWC, man, we do that many damn shows. And on top of you doing Hammerlock Hangover and Garden of Doom and Garden Views, that's a lot of damn shows. I mean, shit.
Right, and I also occasionally, guest on Drew Yari's Patreon, and occasionally on some other things as well. I mean, I've been on Midnight Myth and a few other podcasts, and I don't know. And I'm constantly booking and trying to talk to people about other shows and branching out into new introductions and whatever it is. But listen, I've told you, homeboy. If I can do it, I will be happy to be on your show. I don't know what you want to talk about, but anyway, we're wasting time here. Put your email in the chat. I have the chat. I have the comments open right now. Jimmy won't put it on the screen, and I will copy it, and I will send you an email while we're on the air.
That's right. And
I am not trying to avoid you. I just don't want people to have my phone number because I don't like talking to people. I don't want. To
I told him that. I go, man, he doesn't want me to give you his number.
That's what I do for a living. I talk to 13 people a day in half-hour blocks. I don't want to talk to anyone else, and my mother makes me talk to her.
You're funny. Anyway, let's go back to the wrestling. I think we've pretty much touched on enough of that. But you know what? Since it's a Smachismo, let's roll over to SmackDown anyway, because it still does relate to what we're talking about now, because it does involve, the Usos.
Well, was this the week with Cody and Paul Heyman on Raw?
Yes, it was. We'll get to that. But since the Sami Zayn thing was first, might as well cut over to SmackDown as well, even though that was the last thing that happened. But still, it's relevant. Yeah. Because really, the Roman Reigns, Cody thing, sort of, you know what I mean.
On your order, I'll follow.
Okay, cool. But anyway, so we got the Usos this time. It was more about the Usos, shall we say?
Talk your talk.
What?
Talk your talk. That's
I
what
think
Trick
you said
Williams
fuck your
always
talk.
says to Carmelo. He goes, talk your talk.
I actually thought you said fuck your talk, and I'm like, what?
Fuck your talk.
Fuck your talk. Just
You
quality.
see,
I hate the Boston accent. Yeah. Kya. Why do they talk like that? Jesus.
I can't have a yard.
Yeah, it's so annoying when I don't know why I said that. I was listening to a podcast and that accent, man. I thought we say because we don't use R's, and neither do they clearly, but theirs is more sort of pronounced. Anyway, so we had the Usos and
R's. The Red Sox.
You guys emphasize the R. Like
The
I'm talking about
Bruins.
more. See, if I say R, it sounds like I've got an American accent.
They don't use a R when it's the last syllable in a word.
Exactly. But we use it at the start of a word. That's the only time the R's emphasized. And I assume even the Boston people are like that too. I don't know why. It feels weird, me saying R. It just doesn't come off naturally. It's strange. But anyway, so yeah, we get the Usos and Sami Zayn. Jimmy claims he hasn't spoken to Jay, his brother, which I still don't believe. He can't act well saying that too, just quietly. I mean, it comes across like not believable when he says it. But I will say this. He's improved a lot in his serious promos, if that makes sense. Because usually I would always see him as the Joker type, always happy, always smiling. You couldn't really take him serious compared to, say, Jey Uso. But he impressed me with his delivery of his promo on SmackDown. And I think now there is some sort of range with Jimmy also. Because Jay, I feel like, is the overall better package. But they're both great, though. Don't get me wrong.
I also think Jimmy made a good case. Sam is like, you broke my heart. You were my brother. You broke my heart. And Jay's like, the audacity of you, you selfish bitch.
Bad.
You did this. We were a family, and you betrayed the family. For who? You're the wife you married 8 times and divorced 8 times? The fuck? You were part of the biggest thing. All you had to do was hit him with a chair once. You couldn't even do that, you bastard. You did this. I didn't do this. You did this.
And it's true. And now going back from this is a good sort of look at both Raw and SmackDown with Sami. Now, Sami, when you look at both of the promos from Monday night and obviously SmackDown yesterday, he does come across as that sore ex-girlfriend who's trying to like get him back, right? He's trying to get his boys back, the Usos. He's trying to get KO back. No one wants a bar of soap with him. Actually, that sounds a bar of soap.
Yeah, that sounded really weird.
Yeah,
I mean, I know he's the flavor of the month. He's doing the tour of Canada.
It's hindering him,
He's
though,
got his simple,
Jeff.
plain Jane wife who looks cute and sweet, and everyone's happy and smiling. But let's not forget, Sami Zayn worked his ass off to insinuate himself through hook or by crook into this family, and he gives it up for Kevin Owens. How many T-shirts did they make for him? How much money did he make off T-shirts? Roman was right. He wanted this. He only wanted good things for them. He wanted them to get everything they wanted. For Kevin Owens, who, by the way, it's not just that Sami has betrayed Kevin Owens, it's that Kevin Owens has betrayed Sami. It's like they're fight forever. So,
literally.
Listen, I'm a heel by nature, but I don't have a lot of sympathy for Sami Zayn. As he's right, the Roman is a little bit abusive, but that's how mob bosses work. Listen,
well, that's right.
You can't be a boss and a friend, and it's even harder with blood. So, listen,
Absolutely
and when Sami said blood doesn't test you, the hell they don't.
Yeah, blood's the biggest tester, if anyone. Come on.
Yeah. Well, what family are you in?
Yeah. Jeez, Sami. But that's the thing. What they failed to mention, though, and you just reminded me as you were talking about
the
promo.
By the way, homeboy.
Yeah, still no email, just quietly.
Your last note was Hacksaw Jim Duggan. The hell?
Yeah, I don't know. I think
is that because you're from '88?
He won the fucking Royal Rumble in '88. As a matter of fact,
that's probably because he was King of the Ring, but he was a shitty king.
And that too. That's true. He was. Oh, just saying. Yeah. But what you mentioned as you're talking about the promo, you made me realize something. Shouldn't Jimmy also have mentioned KO from Monday night and say, "Look at you, man. You're begging to get your old friend back." And now here you are begging to get me back as a friend? Get the fuck out of here.
That's right. You begged to get into the family, and now you're begging to get someone else. Maybe you should be alone.
Absolutely. And tell me that's not a compelling storyline.
I agree. Unfortunately, Sami Zayn is the only person who's more intimidating than in the entire WWE is Dominic. So, him as a lone wolf, it's not exactly like Stone Cold Steve Austin jumping out of the crowd and hitting the ring.
Absolutely. Get out of here, bro. YouTube is blocking it. Blocking what?
YouTube is blocking his email address from the chat.
That doesn't make sense, homeboy.
I think he's I think he's talking about sending his show with Brandon Meltzer. They wants me to say.
Well, we're doing a show, homeboy, so I can't have Jeff wanting to see that show right now. Anyway. It gives me a message to guard my privacy.
Well, you know what? Definitely guard your privacy. Go for it, man.
Just, you know what? Oh, you don't have Facebook. Forget it, man. You got no social media. You can't even send it to me to send to him. Anyway, forget it. We'll talk about that off the air. I'll give it to you via the telephone or something. I'll text you. Anyway, Jeff. Like we were saying,
he's high maintenance, like Sami Zayn. Look at this one.
He is high maintenance, mate. I'll tell you now, man. I'll take it from
me. Sami Zayn 88 from now on.
Zayn 88. Hey, you know what? His show is popular, dude. He's ranked also a Homeboy. He's got a great show, the Homeboy 88 podcast.
I'm sure it is. I have no doubt of his talents. I just am shocked and appalled at his inability to get me an email address.
Yeah, he's shall we say he's very much like Sami Zayn, if you get my drift, Jeff. Be paranoid, you know, a bit conspiracy theorist.
He's off the grid.
Off the grid. You get me?
Enemy of the state.
Put it this way, no one knows his name. No one. Everyone just knows him as Homeboy 88.
I don't even want to know his name. I don't care. I'm like The Rock. Man. It doesn't matter what your name is.
It doesn't. It actually doesn't, man. That's what matters. It actually doesn't. What does matter, though, is let us get back to the show, Homeboy. God damn it. But anyway, where was I, man? Because now I'm thrown off again, Jeff. You know how I am. I get distracted.
Sami Zayn alone.
Oh, yeah. He's better off alone, like you said, and that would have been a much better, compelling storyline to go in right now. But instead, I assume something is going to trigger Kevin Owens to help Sami. Now, I don't know if that means he's going to get a beatdown sometime soon.
Of course, this is wrestling. What else could it possibly
be? Right. Well, that's right. And see, there's no need to think too deep about it because
what do you think they're going to be? They're going to have a tickle party and tickle too much?
I don't know why that sounds funny.
Feel like Captain Feathersword?
Why not? I could picture it. I can actually picture, especially Sami Zayn playing that role. But yeah, look.
Maybe they're showing the wife too much, or maybe the bloodline kidnaps her.
Hey, if there wasn't PG and you can do that type of stuff, absolutely, I'll be down for it.
If you've been watching MLW, you could believe that Jacob, Lance, and Juicy Fatu would do that.
What was the group called again?
Well, they call themselves the Samoan SWAT team, but they keep dropping bloodline references every time they can. But you have to remember, everything we're seeing in MLW now is like 2 months old. So
wrestling's not good to watch like when it's taped that far back, dude.
No, and Jacob Fatu is like 5'8.5".
And has he lost weight too?
Yeah, but I think he did that on purpose.
It doesn't suit him, man. He's lost all that. What do you say here? My real name is Esteban Gutierrez.
He's lying.
I know his real name, but I'm not going to say it, obviously.
I don't care what his real name is.
But it is Esteban. Actually, it is. No, really.
Oh, just like my other podcast partner, Esteban Pineapple.
Well, technically, how do you say is Steve in Spanish?
Esteban.
Esteban, it is, right. Exactly. Right. I thought so. I was just double checking, you know what I mean? Right. That's funny. He does look like an Esteban, though. And Steve, where the fuck are you, dude? No Hammerlock hangover? Come on, man. Especially after the Elimination Chamber. I mean, come on.
I'm not. You're not breaking up with me. I'm breaking up with you.
Oh, there you go. Shots fired, Steve. Shots fired. Anyway, let's just move on from that. I agree. He should be, he should be left alone. He's got a wife anyway. Isn't that good enough, Sami? Come on, dude. But I do think
he got a wife. He overachieved.
Yeah. Well, let's be honest. But go back to Raw, because speaking of lone wolves, we had a lone wolf, and this annoyed me, Jeff. Okay. It was Sami Zayn versus Baron Corbin. And a pissed off Baron Corbin, mind you, right, who had way too much in this fucking match. Way too much. If you're gonna fucking build Sami, this was bad.
But still, the end result was Baron Corbin losing, which
he lost, but it was much more respectable though. I mean, let's be honest.
Well, he did jump him from behind, but yeah, I mean, you're right. The story now is not Baron Corbin. I mean, it should be his continued ineptitude. So yeah, right. Sami should be like, I don't give a shit anymore. Nothing hurts me now. He should be in like mini Terminator mode, much like Kevin Owens was a couple of years ago, where he was like dun 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 dun. No matter what happened, he would keep getting him and Darby Allin were trading which one is the more absurd, Terminator.
Yeah, right. But my point is, why are we getting this match went way too long? I felt like too. First of all, Sami did end up winning, but damn it, he had to fight for it. And if Baron Corbin is such a shit performer, and he got put down the week before by JBL, why did he have to have a competitive match against Sami Zayn? That's what I don't understand.
I don't know. Whenever you say, why does Baron Corbin have to, my answer is always, I don't know, unless the answer is leave.
Or penis.
Why does Baron Corbin have to penis and then leave? Yes, I mean, those two concepts I understand. Yes.
Well, he should leave, and like I said, this match went way too long, and Sami does win.
They should not just invite him to leave and show him the door. They should paint arrows for him to follow. Yeah, these are for you, Baron.
Oh yeah, exactly. So much for oil Baron, right?
That's right.
And I told you, others when I brought that up, people laughed at me.
They should bring Saraya and Tony Storm to spray paint an L on his ass on the way out.
That would work. I'd be down for that. Why not? But anyway, yeah, we'll see what happens with Baron. Sami is just a little crying bitch at this point. And I failed to mention, we should have mentioned that on Smack Attack, but now that I'm looking at Raw and SmackDown, it kind of opened my eyes a little more to how Sami looks.
Isn't Esteban Gutierrez Dominic Mysterio's real name?
It's Dom Gutierrez, as a matter of fact.
Is it Dominic Gutierrez?
It is. That's his actual shoot name. You were friends with Dom. I was friends with Dom on Facebook. I think you were too. Now he's taking it off. No, he's actually gone from Facebook now, which, thank God. But boy, if he still had his Facebook freaking profile, he would have embarrassed himself.
He was a little con artist. His entire business was selling things to his father, autographed. But because it's Facebook and you can't verify who it is, I'm like, and he's like, you pay first. I'm like, well, I know, but I didn't know that then. I'm like, even people with mutuals, you can't always be sure. I'm like, listen, I'm not saying you're not, and I'm not saying I don't trust you, and I'm not asking you to trust me. What I'm saying is you should send a cash on delivery. He's like, cash on delivery? What's that? I said COD. He's like, what's that? I'm like, cash on delivery. He's like, no one does that anymore. I looked it up. I sent them the links. FedEx, UPS, every shipping company does cash on delivery. He's like, why would I do that? It's like, because I don't pay unless the box comes, and you don't get paid until I get the box. So neither one of us gets screwed. That's the whole point of cash on delivery. The UPS delivery person won't give me the box, unless I sign for it and pay, and then you get your money. If I don't pay, they're going to send it right back to you.
That's it. I mean,
and he's like, I'm not doing that. I'm like, then I don't trust you, and I unfriended him.
Well, luckily he took off his Facebook because he came across as a
dumbass.
Stupid. Yeah, literally. Yeah, there you go, dumbass. But UPS, man. Speaking of UPS, they suck here, man. They're always slow, for crying out loud.
Well, they're awesome here.
Well, it
fucking
is
brown
the
dude
same
for
UPS.
you.
Well, it's Americans that own this damn company. But FedEx, on the other hand, is great.
Yeah, also, yeah, great.
Absolutely,
also does cash on delivery. All the major companies did cash on delivery.
There you go.
I checked. I sent them screenshots of every single one that's cash on delivery.
Jeez. Anyway, let's move on from that. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know what's happening with Baron, but who cares about him?
Yeah, nobody cares.
Well, I guess we should talk about this because we had... Oh, no, sorry. I was looking at the wrong thing there because I was still at SmackDown. But where were we? We've got Dolph Ziggler versus Mustafa Ali. I'm just going to say this.
Don't care.
Two losers going at it, and unfortunately for Ziggler, he lost to Ali.
The younger loser snuck out a win and
overdid it too.
Yeah, and then he said, "You're right, Dolph. You're right. I shouldn't be listening to everybody. I should do it." And I was laughing. I'm fine. Whatever. Listen,
this is stupid, man.
This is a low card story that nobody cares about either of these guys. At this point, Ziggler is just sort of a coach gatekeeper.
It's just a shame because
he's Natty.
Yeah, he is. But Natty's even getting used better at this point.
In what
Honestly.
way?
Well, you seen what she fucking posts on her socials, right?
I have made it my business not to see what she posts because I find Natty to be
immature,
not sexy in the least.
No, definitely not sexy. I mean, at one stage she was not bad, but now she's ruined her face, dude.
She's ruined everything. Just everything about her looks. I mean, it's like I mean, if you find tanks absurd, sexy, I guess you could. And I
What
don't think
type of tank are you really talking about, Jeff? A tank is in like a fat
and her
tank,
sister
or
wants you to follow her. She has like 82,000 followers on Twitter, and you know how many people she follows? One. Fuck
Really?
that bitch.
talk about it fucking full of yourself. Get over yourself, girl. I know
Exactly.
Track loves her, man.
That's
But
fine. He
please.
can have her. I don't follow them on social media. I'm not. I actually deleted Instagram from my phone. So I mean,
Yeah,
no.
I've got an Instagram, but I don't use it at all. Like I should
I didn't delete my account. I just deleted the whole thing off my phone. So it's somewhere out there. There's still me with the 24 pictures I posted or something.
Well, yeah, Instagram. Yeah, fuck Instagram anyway. I just don't like it. But Natty, though, is so immature for a 40-year-old or 44-year-old, whatever the fuck she is, woman, dude. I just find this... That's why a lot of wrestlers should stop posting certain shit on their socials, because it just makes them look stupid, in my opinion. But it is what it is.
Her time on TV is coming to an end, and she's going to need... And she's trying to figure out what her future and OnlyFans or fan time is until they bring her back as a legend and she does a Beth Phoenix thing like 7 years later.
Yuck. No thanks, please. I don't want that, because who's she going to team up with? Her guy, TJ? I doubt it.
Or maybe when Cesaro comes back.
Yeah, boom, boom. I couldn't care less, honestly, about Claudio Castagnoli or Cesaro. Great wrestler, no personality at all. So,
well, it could be worse. It could be Harry Smith Jr. or his frickin' nephews, the Billington boys, who literally look like two skinny, undersized, miniature
Dynamites?
British meth heads.
There probably are meth heads, just like that. Whoops, I better not say it. Because, RIP to him. But
I mean, they make Nick Wayne look like a Bobby Lashley.
But the $1 million question is, do they look more meth looking than Mr. Regal's Blackpool Combat Club son?
Yes.
Oh, that bad.
Yeah,
I don't think I've seen him.
They make Wheeler Yuta look like Mr. Adonis. Yes.
Fuck that guy too, man. Just quietly, I couldn't care less about him.
Wheeler useless. Wheeler uterus. It all works.
Wow.
Wheeler main event. No.
Jesus Christ. Well, anyway, as I said, Mustafa Ali does defeat Dolph Ziggler in a just crap-ass match. But next we got Cody Rhodes, Jeff. Mm-hmm. He's walking to the ring before another batch of ads, though. But then the American Nightmare comes out looking all sharp in the suit, as he always looks. And he acts like it's kind of a surprise Rhodes will be facing Roman at Mania. Rhodes soaks in the cheers and the Cody chant before saying "so," which I'm so sick of, just quietly, of him saying what he says all the time, because it's getting old, Jeff. Before I continue, don't you agree?
It's a new catchphrase. We know that you don't like it. Then
speaking of spamming it, dude.
Why are you saying things quietly when we're on the air? Say them loudly.
Loud and proud, right, Jeff? As you would say.
Right.
But really though, he's spamming this stupid catchphrase. So it was fine the first time, maybe the second time, but not every week, man.
Well, that's wrestling. You find a catchphrase, you do it until you do it.
Okay.
At least
not good
half
enough,
a season after it's dead.
But doesn't it sound like it's story time with Adam Cole, baby? Like it's the same thing.
Yes, it does, and people still pop for that.
Well, they're both annoying. But anyway.
Let me be serious for a minute. I mean, come on.
That was all right.
Wrestling's about catchphrases. You don't know which ones will... Jericho, I'm a wizard. It worked for a week, then it was done. What do you want to talk about? Different. It's not working. He needs to retire it. But you know what? Pretty soon when he's the champ, he can retire it. If, in fact, he's the champ, I'm not so sure he will be.
Really? You truly think that?
Yeah, well, I don't know. There's, the 1,000-day thing. There's, do they really want to ruin the one thing that's worked for 3 years for Cody, who can just like Dusty, mostly chased?
Tell me it wouldn't be a great idea. It'll get a lot of heat, but just I know you'll like it because you just will. But imagine the Hurt Business came out say towards late in the match and pummeled both of these guys, and we fade to black.
That would be amazing. But I think more likely they would come out and help Cody and say, Cody, because you had the first multiracial baby and stop racism, we love you.
Jesus Christ. That's another issue that, and Chris mentioned this earlier on the Smack Attack, with $5 you get to hear all of us talk about that. But that's so fucking annoying. He's condescending, Jeff, as always. He comes across as just not genuine. You know what I mean? He just, like, I get it, man. I'm sure he means well. But you don't have to brag. It's corporate Cody, absolutely.
He's very much establishment Cody. But that's him. Listen, they needed that in AEW, and he was the only person who could carry it forward, and that's the most success he's ever had. So of course he's going to bring that persona with him.
And let's be honest, right? In the whole context, since you brought up AEW, other than about 2 or 3 wrestlers over there in that promotion, Cody absolutely looked like a legit champion that you could promote, though, at least, whether you like him or not, that you could have as the face of that company. And at one stage, he really was the face.
Yeah, and of course, within 5 months of them being on TV, they had it so that he couldn't, actually within 2 months of him being on TV, they had it so that he could never challenge for the World Championship. Because I was at Full Gear 19, and TV only started October 2nd of 19.
True. Spot on. That's exactly when TV started.
Right.
No, you're right. And boy, was AEW so much better then compared to like now. Even in terms of perception of size, like when they started, they came straight out of the gate and it felt like a legit big promotion, and now it feels rinky-dink.
It had its ups and downs. I thought the fall of 19 had a lot of ups and downs and wasn't particularly great.
Well,
but as soon as the Jericho Cruise, January of 20, right when we got Britt Baker turning heel, because she was insulting Tony Schiavone about his barista roles, right from that until like the next 8 months, AEW TV was the best wrestling program I've seen in years.
Absolutely, by a long shot, especially during the pandemic. WWE was almost unwatchable, except for when Bobby Lashley won the championship at the time. That was a brilliant show. I loved that show. Funny, yeah, exactly. We'll get to that. No need to shake yet. We'll get to that soon. But yeah, you're right. And it's a shame, because how do you go from that to this? I mean, where did it go all wrong? Is it the Adderall? Is it the Coke? Is it the meth at this point? I mean,
it's all of the above. I mean, he kept, like, he bought a couple really good toys. He bought Lance Archer. He brought in Brody Lee, who actually made the Dark Order mean something. He brought in Miro, which was exciting, but then he couldn't stop. He couldn't stop,
like an addiction, right? Like,
yeah, he brought everyone. He had to have everyone and everything all the time, and he didn't know what to do with them. And then he wanted Ring of Honor. Then he wanted Forbidden Door. Then he wanted people from TNT. Then he not TNT. He wanted people from TNA to be on there. He wanted people from DDT. He wanted New Japan people. He wanted to have Warhorse on. He couldn't stop. He needed everything, and then the fans would validate. Oh my God, he's making it so wrestlers can finally get showcased and show what stars are, and finally get paid a living wage. And just he got the blind adulation, and he just never stopped. He's like a kid who keeps buying Star Wars figures, and then it's like, yeah. I can't have one stormtrooper. I mean 9 stormtroopers, because
he'll cry to his daddy why he needs that stormtrooper, right? I mean,
he has an answer to his father. His father made an investment, and that's it. Now he's out. I mean, as long as Tony pays his dad back, listen. What's $33 million to Shad Khan, who's worth $11.5 billion?
True. It's only like $33 to him, right? I mean, shit.
Right. Yeah,
it's true.
Maybe he paid him back. Maybe he didn't. Maybe he expects to be paid back. Maybe he doesn't. Whatever. Maybe he's just happy that his kid has friends.
Jeff, they got to be... Yeah, that's true. They got to be bleeding money, though. I'll tell you why. Because the Jaguars, the Fulham Football Club as well, I don't think they own any more sports teams, and AEW, they all are losing money.
No NFL team loses money.
No? You sure about that?
They do profit. They do revenue sharing. They all make money. It's impossible.
Really? Okay, I didn't know that. Ball in soccer it is.
I don't know anything about soccer, so I believe
I do. So yeah, no, it's
true.
The
NFL is a cooperative. The teams are all franchises, and they have a salary cap and they have revenue.
Oh yeah, sharing, I forgot. You're right.
Which is how a team in Jacksonville, which almost never sells out, can consistently be profitable, because teams like the New York Giants and the Patriots and the Pittsburgh Steelers some of their profits go to the lesser teams, and that's why teams at least theoretically can
makes
always be
sense
competitive.
then. Okay, now I understand.
That's why NFL, even a bad NFL franchise, is worth
He's good.
$2.5 billion.
And you know what else I've noticed? Not that I know the rules of the NFL and whatnot, but what I find interesting, I've never seen an NFL so competitive until now. There's not really that many shit teams. There are, don't get me wrong, but every team, most of the teams in the league seem actually very on par with each other.
Yeah, a bad team in the NFL goes 6-10, but there's only 2 wins from you being 500. But now there's 17 games, so it's not exactly right. But the losing record gets the higher draft picks. The NFL is designed so that there's always going to be competitiveness. It's designed purposely that way, so a team that's in Buffalo or Cincinnati or Jacksonville can compete with a team that's in Los Angeles or New York. Or you can have 2 teams in Los Angeles, and neither one's really at a competitive disadvantage.
No, I agree. And there is 2 teams in Los Angeles: the Rams and what was the other one?
Chargers.
The Chargers. That's it. Wait, that was San Diego, wasn't it?
It was San Diego. It's not anymore.
When did they actually move to LA? That just sort of
4 years ago. 4 or 5 years ago.
Really? Shit, I know. Like the Raiders moved to Vegas. How many times do they want to fucking move? But
they were out constantly. The Rams have moved a million times. The Rams were
St. Louis.
St. Louis. They were in Arizona. They're back in St. Louis.
Arizona Rams?
Mm-hmm.
I don't actually remember. They must have not been there for long.
They changed names.
Wow. That's the one thing I hate about American sports, though, man. I don't like how... I get it. If it's not making money, instead of the team going bust...
you think there's any Cardinals in Arizona? There's no Cardinals in Arizona.
I know. It's like the Utah Jazz. Jazz didn't come from Utah.
Right. It came from
New Orleans.
New Orleans.
Right.
There's no Lakers in
exactly.
in LA either. They came from Milwaukee.
Minnesota. No, Minnesota.
Minnesota, right.
It is. It's true. And that was successful in Minnesota. That's what's weird. I didn't understand why they moved, but it all comes back to money.
Hey, Hollywood, man. What are you talking about?
Of course. No, I get it. Of course. But how would you feel as a fan, though? Especially during the successful time. I believe they won 4 championships in Minnesota, dude. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They were a winning franchise. While they moved, they had just won the championship and then went to LA.
There were like 14 teams then, so.
I know, but still, I'd be bitter as a fan. But anyway, I know it's better off talking.
I'm sure there's still people in Baltimore mad about the Colts, except the Ravens have won 2 Super Bowls since they've been.
That's all right. It's eased with that. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter anymore. Because the Ravens are very much a symbol of Baltimore. You know what I'm saying? And pride these days. So that's I like the NFL for the tribalness of it. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
Which is similar to here with our football league. But anyway, let's get away from football. Let's go to I'm back to SmackDown. I'm getting confused here. But I was talking about Cody and the Wise Man, because the Wise Man had a message for Cody, actually, Jeff.
I know.
He said that the weight of his story the story's end, and that is Cody's story, is upon him. He can't beat Roman Reigns, and apparently Ottawa, sorry. So Paul plays out the hypothetical of Rhodes ending Roman's reign, and if he does that, he won't have Heyman's counsel to navigate the world. That means he'll have to do 200 days on the road plus another 50 doing charity work, then another 30 overseas promoting WWE, and add on more to promote PLEs and his promotion of house shows and blah, blah, blah. Then Cody will be home 60 days a year, and when he is home, he'll be on Zoom calls for WWE. And if that's the life he wants, it will be like Dustin Rhodes. I was surprised he mentioned that.
Right.
It's like Dustin Rhodes, what he says about Dusty. Yeah, absolutely. Even when he'll be home, he won't be home. Heyman won't say anything brash like Roman. He did mention Roman will keep Brandy company, apparently.
No. He said he would never say anything like that Roman Reigns will keep Brandy company, because Roman is a happily married man.
Oh, yes, that's right.
He goes,
I was going to mention
but
that.
I'm not.
Yuck. Come on. Why would Brandy? That would be a good story, though.
We're all fat middle-aged men out there. I'm like, good on you, Paul. Go get that brass ring. Go get that Brandy ring.
Well, you mean the?
What
ring are we talking about?
I mean, top to bottom.
Oh, top two bottom.
This one's for
front
you,
to
Mitch.
back.
This one's for you, Anthony Missionary Thomas, including her feet.
Has he got a fetish for feet?
The Wrestling Soup has a whole thing about Brandy Rhodes' feet.
I don't understand people that have a thing for feet, dude. I'm just saying.
Well, I don't think it's a foot fetish kind of thing. I think that they think
know.
her feet are ugly.
If everything's
I don't
penis here, it's feet at the soup. Just saying.
Right. I mean, sure, it's completely understandable for us to have a penis fetish. I'm doing the helicopter right now underneath.
Yeah, that's foul, Jeff. Come on now. But anyway, what'd you think of
when we cover New Japan? I call it the Osprey.
You didn't just say that. The Osprey?
The Osprey. Like Will Osprey.
I know.
Like the Osprey hybrid planes, helicopters.
Anyway, let's not go there. But
we already went there. It's done.
We did. Well, apparently Cody is all rolled up though, Jeff, and takes a moment to compose himself. He acknowledges Roman Reigns as the best, but says he doesn't send this. He doesn't. But send this man a friggin' message or some shit again. He says he may be the greatest WWE Universal Champ of all time, but he has to finish the story and beat him at WrestleMania. Cool,
yep.
Cody.
This whole finish the story thing. I'm sort of over the finish the story as well.
Yeah, because it takes away. Again, stop saying that.
Well, especially since he told Sami to finish the story, and well, Sami didn't finish his story, even though that's not really a story.
And wasn't Adam Cole telling stories?
Well, wrestling's about storytelling. I actually had an interesting epiphany while you're taking a bong hit. There are people who say they prefer, essentially the big difference between sports entertainment and professional wrestling, if you're to believe there's any distinction, seems to be the people who prefer the storytelling is with the match as opposed to in between the matches, versus people who prefer the stories get told in backstage segments, promos, lesser important matches, but then the final match is the culmination point or major plot points of the story, and it can tell its own story in the ring too, but it's the finish of the story or the finish of that chapter. And I was thinking that it's sort of like your typical Broadway musical. Your typical Broadway musical, you have acting, and then you have the scenes that tell the story, and then you have songs that sort of put emphasis on the stories and plot points and whatever, and then you have more acting, and then you've got your finale, at the end with the big song number and whatever, and that's the end. Versus opera. Opera, the entirety of the story is done to singing. Like there's almost no acting in it. The acting is singing. The whole thing is singing. And I prefer a regular Broadway musical to an opera any day. So that's So New Japan people they like opera. I like Broadway.
There you go. And if you want to hear more about that argument, you can pay $5 and check it out at Smack Attack, because actually we do get into that. It gets a little heated, shall I say? We did get into that.
This is a PWC exclusive, or my Twitter.
Well, yeah, this is a PWC exclusive, but we talk about New Japan and just wrestling as a whole, if it's taken seriously or not, whatever. Go check it out over there at channelattitude.com. Homeboy says in the chat, Roman Reigns is Brandon Meltzer's favorite wrestler.
So far, sounds smart.
So far. But don't worry, he'll roll you up, I guarantee it.
Okay.
Anyway, after that, we get Asuka versus Nikki Cross. The two crazies, the two cray-crays, shall I say. Well, Asuka ends up defending Nikki Cross via submission. Not more to say other than she makes me laugh, Nikki Cross, though. It wasn't a bad match.
You've always liked Nikki Cross. I've never liked Nikki Cross. I don't get it. But Asuka won. That's all that matters.
I'm not really a fan of Nikki Cross, but the match was. I don't mind these two the way they interact. But yeah, Asuka's over, and I hope she beats Bianca Belair come WrestleMania.
But if you want a feud that's less important than Dolph Ziggler and Mustafa Ali, it might be Nikki Cross and Candice LeRae.
That's money right there, dude. And I'm not talking about Carmella, but that right there is money. Get it? Mm-hmm. Money.
I understand.
Yeah. Speaking of, though, we get Kathy Kelly with Carmella, and Asuka has come up with a new plan for getting to WrestleMania. She doesn't have one yet, though, but she does plan to make Asuka pay. We'll see about that. Anyway, sorry?
Who has a plan?
Carmella.
Oh, okay. Listen, metal is money.
She is. I agree. We've been saying this week in, week out lately. If anyone disagrees, use a cray-cray. I'm just saying. But also, did I mention that it's apparently... what was I going to say? That it's the Miz and what's her name? Maurice's anniversary. Not that anyone cares, but he's still the luckiest man alive.
She's getting a little bit heavy in the bosom for those outfits.
She is, dude.
I think that Miz and Maurice are going to end up being your WrestleMania hosts. I mean, he is the A-lister.
He's Johnny Cage, dude. I don't know if you were ever a Mortal Kombat fan, but he's so Johnny Cage, dude.
It's fine. As long as he doesn't have an important match, I don't care. But him and Maurice as host and hostess, that's fine. It'll be worth it just to find the different ways she accentuates her boobs.
She's gorgeous, dude.
She'll have like 7 wardrobe changes a night.
Do you think she's self-conscious deep down?
Of course. Everyone is.
Right, but there's also extremes though. Like, you know what I mean? I mean, obviously we're not that self-conscious if we're on screen, right? I mean, shit.
Right. I mean, you have to have a certain degree of confidence, but everybody who is uber confident is always self-conscious about certain things. I'm sure she's worried about, she's had 2 kids. She's probably worried about aging, getting fat,
She has aged a little bit, and heck, she has put on a little weight, but it's good. Like, she still can sort of rock it, you know what I mean?
No, listen. For a 40-year-old woman, she's fabulous. I mean,
fabulous.
I know how petty this sounds, but I'm just talking about for people who are on TV who are usually half naked. I mean, she's sort of at the point where maybe she should think about toning it down a little bit. Like, you can be sexy without being like Vegas burlesque.
Actually, that's a good point. That's actually a great point. She does come across like that, for real. Even the Miz, in the sense. They're so Vegas, dude.
Yeah, everything about the Miz, smells to me like, phony gauche, phony, fake opulence, Trump luxury brand.
Yeah, for sure. I will say this about the Miz, though. He's bulletproof, dude. That's one guy that can just lose.
Oh, yeah.
And it doesn't actually affect him anymore. I actually think... And that's a good thing.
Well,
that's actually a positive.
It's truth of the matter is, no one really ever took him seriously as a wrestler.
No, that's true.
He is just the chicken shit heel that, like once a year he's going to be in a program that matters, but for the rest of the time he's just a host. He's just someone to run away and get beat up.
But he's still upper mid card, you know what I mean? Even though he's not really doing much, but he's still sort of promoted, if you know what I mean.
You can put him into any part of the card. That's the thing about the Miz is that. And if you don't know where to put him, you put something on Miz TV. Everything works. I still think his best recent work was with John Morrison. I think they made a giant mistake in dropping him. But John Morrison, by the way, is now Johnny Fusion on MLW and is just turned heel on Davey Richards, joining his wife Taya and being aligned with. Cesar Durant.
Is there something to Hunnigan? Does it feel like he's I don't know what it is, man, but I feel like, the big promotions kind of think about signing him and then they just want to get rid of him. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, is this something he's done, you think, or is his attitude?
I mean, maybe he insists on his wife being with him. Maybe he insists on a different kind of schedule because he does. I mean, he does a lot of work in Hollywood. He's a stuntman. He's a double. He does a lot of D&E level things. Like you'll see like random movies on Netflix or like video on demand, and like somehow he's in. Like he does like 4 or 5 movies a year. Now they're not big movies. Like he probably gets paid, whatever, $45,000 or whatever to do them. I don't really know, but
I would fucking be happy with that per movie. 45 G's. Come on.
Right. Now, would he come back if WWE offered him a mid-card contract? Yeah, of course he would. And he could still do probably 2 movies a year. And and he also does like what Shad Gaspar did, like for video games where he's like, he does the live simulation and the video. In the WWE video game, like a lot of indie wrestlers did the moves, like Lady Frost.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're right. That's true. It wasn't actually the WWE wrestlers. There was some. Don't get me wrong. They did motion capture like pretty much the big names, but for all the moves generally and the movements,
they had indie wrestlers do it, which is nice because that's money for those folks.
Oh, for sure. And I'm sure it was a great payday for them. No doubt about it, man.
Yeah.
But anyway, enough of that, because we move on. And next, well, we see Brock Lesnar attacking referees after the disqualification to Bobby, but we'll get to that
not
soon.
Suspended.
Oh, yes, that's right. Not suspended, which is
They don't run a
odd.
tight ship like AW did with Hook.
Oh, right. Where is Hook actually these days?
He's got unsuspended. He's free to roam about the country.
Oh, no. Are you sure you're not talking about Hobbs? Because he's clearly still roaming around the country.
No, Hobbs. He has.
Or is he lost in Oakland?
He's actually in the Face of the Revolution ladder match, which I don't know what the significance of this ladder match or Face of the Revolution is. And I do believe that one of the people in it is A.R. Fox, who is anything but a new face. But I don't. Listen, we talk about that on Cage. So, folks, either watch it live, look for your social media to watch it live, or you got to pay that $5 and you can watch it on Channel Attitude and Hummy Media Group.
Absolutely. Next, we do get Seth Rollins versus The Miz. And you know how this goes. Rollins ends up defeating The Miz via referee stoppage. Kind of surprising.
Why?
With the stoppage, I'm saying. I thought he was going to get disqualified for a moment.
No, the Miz's got. Well, the last time Seth Rollins got disqualified for something like that, it caused the whole world to go in an uproar, and rightfully so.
And rightfully so, because it makes no sense. What did he do wrong?
Right, it was a knockout. So he knocked out The Miz, knocked him out cold. So this is The Miz, total jabroni. That's fine.
Well, after
the most
that,
successful loser in the world.
Well, yeah, actually, no doubt about it. Because, like I said, he's bulletproof, man. It's just it doesn't matter.
Beautiful family. He's got the extra TV show. He's got this gig as long as he
balls.
wants it. He'll be in commentary. He'll probably do acting lessons at the Performance Center. He'll probably get D-level acting level jobs with his friend Hennigan. They'll probably even start a production company together where they do bad action films and bring in like old Jean-Claude Van Damme and Steven Seagal.
I told you, Johnny Cage, man, all the way. I'm telling you.
That's fine. They can bring in the cast of Cobra Kai. Don't worry,
and the Dildo Awards, whatever it's called.
They'll be fine. And at some point, he'll get one of those Lifetime Achievement Awards.
Well, Homeboy says John Cena is on the cover of the new game, which tells me that there are new superstars now on WWE. I know you're being sarcastic by saying that, surely. Yeah, what can I say? He's right. I mean, they shouldn't have Cena on the cover, to be fair. But that could be the video game company wanting that. But still, it's the same answer.
You never know. Doesn't matter. It moves merchandise. What's the difference?
It's true. It's damn true. Well, I know you're going to.
It's like getting upset about the WON awards. Who gives a fuck?
That's true. Well, next we have Carmella walking and talking with Pierce backstage, and since she asked nicely, he gives her a match with Asuka next Monday. Happy Mella leaves, and Scrap Daddy's phone rings. It's Chelsea Green, Jeff. Yeah, which is weird because I'll get to this in a moment, but whose WWE travel accidentally sent to Michigan, apparently. He says they'll be there next month, so he'll have someone get her there for next Monday. Green is not happy, but Pierce pretends to have bad service in Canada. But anyway, before that ends,
she's more entertaining without seeing her than Baron Corbin, Dolph Ziggler, Mustafa Ali, and The Miz were while being on camera.
Well, I heard the story. Apparently, she couldn't make it to Canada because of green card. But what does that matter? She's Canadian.
Maybe she didn't apply for a visa. I don't know.
But wouldn't she be a Canadian citizen? I assume.
Is she from Canada?
Yeah, she is. Absolutely is.
Maybe she's not a dual citizen. Maybe she became an American citizen and renounced her Canadian citizenship.
Ooh, maybe. Well, if that's the case, I don't know why she would, but
maybe it's the opposite. Maybe she's a permanent resident in the U.S. and she spent too much time outside of the U.S. that she couldn't leave the country without jeopardizing that. You can't leave the U.S. while you're a permanent resident for like an aggregate of a year.
Why? That doesn't make sense, though.
Because then you shouldn't be a permanent resident. You then once you become a citizen, you can do whatever you want.
But what? Even if you're going for like 24 hours or 48 hours?
If that puts you over that 365 days, listen, I think it's an aggregate of 1 year within like a 3-year period. It's not like monstrous, but if she did a lot of shows in Mexico and then in Australia, whatever, maybe Listen,
She was actually in Australia right before her WWE.
Right. So, I'm saying time picks up. Listen, I don't know what the real reason is. I don't know the real answer, and I'm not even sure that that's the case. I just know if you're a permanent resident and you're not in the United States for a year, you lose your permanent resident status. I don't know if there's any aggregation and if it's within time, but going by tax laws, which is not necessarily a righteous parallel, a lot of things are like the aggregate of 2 years within the last 5. And so a lot of times, like our Congress was like, that's too mean. And so they come up with these aggregate formulas over X period of time. So she spent 11 and a half months overseas, during the last 2 years. This would put her into jeopardy. Maybe she couldn't do the Canadian tour.
Interesting. I didn't know that. Thanks for the information, because that's
it's just a maybe. It's not information. It's just speculation.
Okay,
it's not even educated speculation. It's just it sounds like educated speculation, but I'm not talking about might be a dangerous thing. Speculation.
I wasn't talking about that's the reason about Chelsea Green. I'm talking about that you can't go overseas if you're a permanent resident in the States.
That was one of the things I was talking to Juventud Sicario about, to make sure that he really wanted to do this, because I'm like, listen, if you're gone for a year, you've lost your permanent resident status, and it's not so much about
so
him.
You've got permanent resident status, like
he got permanent resident status before he ever stepped foot in the country. You know how hard his mother worked for that?
How did you pull that off, Jeff? I mean, that's pretty.
Because his mother's very sexy, and things go well for sexy people. But and she's deadly as well.
I'm intrigued.
Listen,
because you're a lawyer,
Jeff. A lot of
Jeff.
people are her favorite.
Did you pull lawyer strings? No, but really, did you pull some lawyer strings there to make?
Yes, I did. For the purpose of the audience, I absolutely did. But there are millions of people who would give lots of money or organs or both for his status, and he just
absolutely
he just threw it away.
Well, I know who to call if I ever want permanent residency in the States. It shouldn't be as hard for me being from Australia though, and I do have family. Just
I had to get a visa to go to Australia.
Oh no, I'm going to need a visa. that's no doubt about it. What, Douglas? What?
Yeah, Douglas. What?
What? Say it. I didn't just stop now for nothing. Oh God. Anyway, that's the PWC, folks. Anyway, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Solid professionals here.
Man, usually we are professional, but that time she was trying to get my attention. It seemed like it anyway, but it was all for nothing, as per usual. Anyway, no offense.
That's love.
That's love, exactly. That's exactly what love is. Well, speaking of love, we get Pierce walking past Otis and Chad Gable posing in the mirror and wondering why maximum male models don't want Chad along with Otis. Then Bronson Reed comes up from behind them and mocks them for getting ready for a match that way. Seems we're getting Reed versus Gable tonight, but first, ding dong, Jeff.
You hear that, Tyler, the trademark, who a couple weeks ago said, Otis isn't going to feud with Bronson Reed. I do watch Raw.
It's true. And then, well, what's going on, Jeff? Now people are starting to talk about they want this as a team. It was you that came up with this first. I'll say that. But I'm seeing on social media. Well, right. But when you first mentioned it, I'll give you credit. You mentioned it before we actually even got any interaction. As a matter of fact, you said it exactly a week before we got the first interaction, and it blew my mind because I'm like, motherfucker's right. Yeah, look at this. It's like they heard us.
More of my ideas. If all wrestling would be better if they stole my ideas.
No, but really, it was kind of a spin out because we were talking about it the week before, and then Lord knows, bang, that's exactly what happened that week. Funny stuff. But are we still getting it? Is this what's going to happen? Is Bronson Reed going to become, what would you call him last week? I forgot now, man.
Bronson.
Oh, yes, Bronson.
Bronson.
Is it Bronson Red? Or is it going to be, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Reid.
Reid. Bronson Reid. Hey, Bronson Monsoon.
Yes.
Why
Red
not?
Bronson.
I don't know, man, but that's so kill his vibe. But whatever, we'll see.
What vibe? There's no. His vibe is coming out and nobody reacts. That's his vibe.
No, but come on, dude. I mean, can you imagine Bronson, whatever his last name will be?
The man
acting
has
all...
no vibe. You can't kill nothing. It's like saying, "Gee,
I hope you can pull
you're really ruining the furniture in space."
Oh boy. Well, some people do leave their plastic covers over the furniture. Just saying. You know what, my mum.
Kill him.
Well, I hate that personally. I'm not gonna lie. What's the fucking point? You sit down and you feel like, what the hell, man? Like, seriously.
I understand it if you have cats, but I don't understand having cats. Now, I understand if you have cats with claws.
I don't blame you.
That's probably the only reason.
Well, anyway. We'll see what happens, but it gets better later on. But
if you're very cheap and you don't want to ever replace your furniture, it's also, elongates it by decades.
Do you think? Yeah, maybe the material, but I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, does it look like what it is? Yes, it looks like what it is, but I mean, people make choices.
I guess. Yeah, more power to them. I don't know,
Jeff.
Wearing
a condom, it's stupid.
Yeah, actually, I agree. I'm sorry, but it's true. Well, maybe, look, thank God there's no STDs over here, but
Sure.
But you know what? Still, pull the handbrake, folks. Don't just leave it in. Just saying. There's your first penis educational sort of fact right there.
The more you know.
That's right.
That's right, people. Work on your pull-out game.
Indeed. Should we talk about Ding Dong Hello? Because, this was stupid.
I mean, give it the 10 seconds because you have to now.
Well, okay. Well, we've got a new show, I guess, because we don't have enough already with rest. I will say this, though. I kind of like the way... It reminded me of kind of... not Ricky Lake, but what's the other woman back in the day, Jeff? They used to do
Oprah
shows
Winfrey.
like... No, not Oprah. Another one. Old school.
Wendy
Come on,
Williams.
dude. She was white. She was white. Nah.
Right. Ricky Lake?
No, I said Ricky Lake first. She was younger. She came later on. Donahue.
Donahue's a man.
No, it's a chick, dude.
Phil Donahue was a man.
No. Wait a minute. I got to look this up.
I mean, there were a million. There were Ellen DeGeneres. Everyone had a talk show.
Not Ellen. This one is even older than that.
Sally Jesse Raphael. Well, she was an old lady. He's saying young.
Yeah.
Are you talking about like Tanya?
No, you're right. Donahue, of course.
Tyra Banks. She had a show.
No, not Tyra Banks. She was a model, wasn't she?
Yeah. So at least her show. You could look at her.
She was hot, actually. Whatever happened to Tyra Banks?
She's still hot.
She was. She is?
Yeah.
Oh, man. It'll come back to me, man.
Great.
It'll come back to me.
Can't wait.
It was old school. I want to type it up, like old school talk shows, because it's doing my head in now.
Let's just say Janice DeWitt.
No, you'll know. The minute I said it, the minute I say it, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about.
Great.
But anyway, basically we get another talk show, and I can't even remember like what she was saying. It was basically the same old shit with the man.
Damage control as her guest, right?
Yeah, but she never spoke.
Right, they're just saying how great
they never
spoke. They are.
Big deal.
Right, it was nothing. It was a stupid segment. I mean, but I said just do the 10-second, and we've like spent 3 minutes on it.
Well, we do have the man, that's why. And this is pretty much the same old shit that we've been getting all the time between. Oh yeah, and Lita, that's right. I forgot. See, I actually forgot with Lita. Do we really need to see this match? I get it's going to be a WrestleMania damn match.
I don't know what match this is that we're seeing because
well, they want the tag belts. They said, didn't they?
I mean, if it's the tag match, that's fine for the titles. The one people are talking about is Damage Control, all three of them against Becky, Lita, and Trish. And no, we don't need that because
we got to get Trish.
Titles should be on the line at WrestleMania. So if it's just the tag match, that's fine. I mean, do we need it? No. Do I care? No. I mean, Damage Control is 2 zeros anyway. So it's fine. I like Lita. I mean, I don't like when she's not showing any cleavage, but she's age appropriate for me. I love Trish, but I don't need Trish to be part. As a matter of fact, I would prefer it, be Lita and Trish versus Damage Control. Let Becky and Bayley go one more time. Not that I really give a shit about them. Just have it a street fight.
Well, yeah, since you have 2 nights to fill, so I mean that makes more sense, right?
I have it a Hollywood studio stuntman anything goes match.
A Hollywood stuntman? You mean stunt woman?
Well,
right?
the advantage of you have Texas death matches, Philly street fights. I mean, what do you do in LA? A Compton street fight?
By the way, homeboy, that's it exactly. Sally, I'm talking about. I was talking about Sally. That exactly
Sally
right.
Jesse Raphael was not young. She was an old lady.
That's what I said. She was an older woman. I was saying that white woman.
All right. Well, great. Yeah, I remember Sally Jesse Raphael.
Well, that's what Ding Dong reminded me of. Just
Okay,
quietly.
great. Cool.
Like a throwback to that with the music and shit. Except what this, well, sorry, it was doing my head in, man, but thank you, homeboy, man. It's exactly what I was thinking. And yeah, he told me. Beautiful. Anyway, yeah, like you're right. I agree. Why not do a Hollywood street fight backlot brawl?
Backlot brawl.
Yeah, exactly. Something. But instead, look, we're booking WrestleMania. We could have had Lita and Trish. It would have been better off too against Damage Control in Io Sky. And I still can't believe it's what's her name's wife, Dakota Kai. Like seriously, like, I can't believe they so don't match. They really don't.
Talking about Shayna Baszler, folks.
Shayna Baszler, that's right.
All right, move on with the show. Nobody cares.
Oh, so nothing to report on there.
They're an ugly couple anyway. But they seem very happy.
They are ugly. I'm not gonna lie. One's a stick, and one is. Anyway, I won't go there. Well, anyway, we go backstage because I know you want me to talk this.
Yeah.
Because we see Otis and Gable making their way to the ring, and Bronson Reed absolutely destroys Chad Gable in a decent match. But more importantly, Otis was just looking at Maxine, and that's what caused the loss.
He's like Winnie the Pooh. He's fallen into this honeypot before.
Yeah, literally, the honeypot for sure. That's a good one. You're right, and I like it.
Yeah, that's fine. Poor Gable will be on his own, but you know what? He needs to break off on his own.
As long as he doesn't do the shush, please, and thank you on his own.
That's there's enough of that. That's like, well, what do you want to talk about?
Don't please. No more of that. I hate it.
What do you guys want to talk about? So, Jimmy, what do you want to talk about now?
Well, what I do want to talk about is Elias, the
How
lying
about
liar
Podbean?
Elias. Oh yes, Podbean. As a matter of fact, you're right, Jeff. Because did you ever want your own show, Jeff?
I would love to have my own show. I don't even know where to start though.
Well, I've got good news because you can start your own show if you sign up with podbean.com and use the affiliate word the PWC Network. The PWC Network. And if you do that, you get a free month.
Free?
Yeah. Free. I can't do it. But yes, I didn't say 3. I said free. So go to podbean.com and use the affiliate code, the PWC Network, and you will get your free month. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you for reminding me.
Thank you, Podbean, for
That's right.
getting me that Bugatti convertible.
Bugatti.
Yeah.
You mean the Bugatti? Oh, actually, it is Bugatti. If you talk proper Italian, it's not Bugatti.
Which I do.
Exactly. That's why he's a doctor and the evil dose. You know, the devil can speak every language in the world. True. I mean, come on.
Yeah, including Enochian.
Enochian, even Bababian, Santonian,
Hyperborean,
and Santonian,
Harappan, Sumerian.
What about
Babylonian,
Sumerian,
Canaanite,
Ancient Greekian, Armenian,
Cometian.
You know how Bianca Belair is the EST? Well, Jeff is the Ian of wrestling.
I'm the talkiest D.
Yeah, you are the talkiest. But are you the sexiest?
Yeah, I think so.
Absolutely.
She is.
Oh, she is. Yeah. Lily, not La Sicaria?
Of course, La Sicaria.
Well, you're dead tonight, Jeff. One of them's going to kill you.
Well, La Sicaria is in Ecuador, so right now I only have to worry about that one.
I know, it feels so quiet over there, man. I haven't seen her for a while myself. Usually, you know, you'd show her off and
I know.
you start talking.
I can't wait. I hope she got a whole bunch of lower cut shirts.
Well, yeah, she's in Ecuador. I don't know if she's listening now, but shout out to Lasakaria. No doubt about it, man. And I guess even Humatu Zakaria, who's back home too, man. So
yeah, he's in Quito now. They actually let him travel on his own.
Really? What made him go there? Well, he just...
Well, it is the capital. I mean, he's got a lot of friends there. He used to live there, I guess. Hopefully he's looking for a job, see if he can do some independent living.
Well, how old is he again? Like late 20s, right?
He's 23. He turns 24
he's young,
in a few months.
dude. He's young. You must be a real hard ass, right? Get out of home the minute you turn 18. Out.
No, definitely not. But I mean, but keep a job at McDonald's, for God's sake.
Fair.
I don't care whether you're working. I mean, but if you're not working, at least enjoy your life as a vacation, since you don't have to pay for anything. But if your goal was to get your own place and a car, whatever, at least hold a job at McDonald's when you don't have to pay for anything. So, your $26,000 a year job, you can net $18,000 a year. And after a year, you can afford to get your own place, and you can afford to put a down payment on a card and pay for it.
It is hard though, Jeff. I won't lie.
No,
it is hard.
He had a job at McDonald's.
Well,
He left after 3 weeks because he said it was too noisy. Like he worked on a construction pit or like on the jetways at an airport. It's not that noisy in McDonald's, for God's sake.
No comment. Anyway.
Okay, look at this. Look at the chat.
What's going on here? Look, we just broke kayfabe. Shall I let him in? I want to see The Rock.
Well, what difference does it make at this point?
I mean, let's see The Rock.
If anybody's still watching the show, they're with us for the day.
They are, actually. They are still watching the show. And you will check us out later on, too, because we are doing Uncaged, which is going to be interesting, Jeff, because I don't know how we're going to do it. But anyway.
Can't wait to do Uncaged.
Me too. But we have the lying liar, Jeff, in Elias in the ring. And thank God for your boy. Oh, he was talking about Boogs.
First of all, I like Boog. Second of all, Elias is really, his head's only halfway in the game. He's worried about his brother.
You can tell, you're right.
For months.
You're right. I can see that, man. His heart just doesn't seem into it.
I'm sorry. Our guest needs 5 minutes.
Did he say that? Oh, God. Anyway, back to Elias.
He wants to hijack the show, but on his time.
Anyway, look, I feel bad for Elias. I feel like he looks worried, man. I'm not going to lie.
One of the things that I'm not so thrilled about, listen, I fully understand WWE, you need to wait turns, but there are some people that it just seems like they've become the heel that loses everything. So, yeah, I don't care about Corbin, but he's one of them. Miz is one of them. LA Knight's becoming one of them. Elias is
if they're not
becoming one of
careful
them.
tonight, right?
Yeah. And the Gable is one. I mean, you need people to either win sometimes or don't portray them as they're important. Nobody ever expected SD Jones or Iron Mike Sharp to win matches.
Fair point. Or Barry Horowitz, or
Barry Horowitz.
Or the Brooklyn Brawler.
Right, so they need if you want them to be believable, every now and then they've got a win match, like a surprise match, even if they're a heel, maybe especially if they're a heel. Because when they're faced, obviously the crowd behind them gives them a whole new lease on life.
What about the Red Rooster, Terry Taylor?
No.
Remember that fucking gimmick? Seriously?
Of course I do. I mean, him and the Blue Blazer were around the same time. Two horrible gimmicks.
Yeah, actually, spot on. It reminds me of 1989. Blue Blazer, Owen Hart, before he was Owen Hart in WWE, WWF.
I mean, they would have done the Green Goblin if it wasn't taken.
But you know what? His theme used to make me laugh when you hear the rooster go at the start.
But lots of things make
It's fucking funny, man. And he come out literally like doing the rooster.
Yeah, I
mean, it was funny. It's bad comedy, but it's fucking good comedy in a way. It made me laugh.
There was a short period of time where Terry Taylor was taken so seriously that people were comparing him to Ric Flair.
When he was in NWA, yeah. Mm-hmm. But when he came over to the WWF, by God, he was going to get the cock fucking gimmick.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what they did to these guys, man. Most of the guys that jumped over during that period, I mean, look, Dusty with the polka dots.
That's why all the people say that the creative was better then. No, it wasn't. It still sucked.
But it was funny,
in
man.
1988, I had to watch Tito Santana and Hacksaw Jim Duggan every week on my goddamn TV.
What? It wasn't El Matador?
Not yet.
Not yet. And you know, Tito Santana wasn't even born in Mexico. Can you believe that?
Sure, I can believe that.
You know what I mean? When he would sit there going, what did you say? Ole.
No, Arriba.
Oh, Arriba. That's it. That was Arriba. But I did like Strike
By the way,
Force,
Tito
Jeff.
Santana had a perfectly wonderful, like,
He had a
17-year
great
career.
run. Fuck yes. Absolutely. Him, you know, the Can-Am connection with Tom Zink and
Force.
And Strike Force with Rick the Model Martel. Strike
right.
Force was brilliant.
Yeah.
Actually, I was so invested when Rick the Model Martel actually turned on Tito. I was devastated as a kid, man.
He had he also held the Intercontinental Championship at least once for a very long time.
As a Matador, actually, as a matter of fact. He did.
Even before Matador, he held it
He did.
just Tito Santana.
Oh, yes. One time, many years before the tag team stuff.
Yeah.
But no, I call that a successful career.
Yeah.
Easily, absolutely. No
He
doubt.
had a nice career. And when people hear me say Braun Breaker's probably more likely to have a Tito Santana career than a John Cena career,
That's
they
harsh,
think I'm
bro.
insulting him. And no, I'm not.
You know why I say that's insulting? Only because he's not meant to be the Tito Santana sort of career, which is nothing to sniff at, like we were just saying. But come on, Braun Breaker's being groomed to be the guy. It seems
The 400 people in NXT are bored with him already. Imagine what the
no one talks about him really, Jeff.
Imagine what the WWE people who are much less forgiving are going to do. They're going to cheer for him in the beginning because they want to, but listen, he's got one note. That's it. He's a one note guy.
Well, before we continue, speaking of one note, actually, oh wait, we get your boy coming out next to absolute trashing. Yeah, there we go with shaking. Oh no, it's really shaking. So, but thank God for this, Jeff. Thank God for Lashley, who took out the trash in Elias, and then jumped on the mic and pretty much said he pretty much said, I don't care if you're Bray Wyatt, Brock Lesnar, and then, there we go. He pretty much said he's sick and tired of being disrespected. Yeah, there goes
Special
the
effects
tissue.
here. But special effects on a budget.
Maybe that wasn't special effects, just quietly. But you know what? It is special effects with whoa, things are falling down, literally. But anyway, yeah, he's sick of being disrespected. Is he being disrespected, Jeff?
Yes. And you know what? And if you disrespect him, he's putting you down.
It's true. He is putting you down in that hurt lock. Well, anyway, speaking of putting down, I don't know what's going on here, but hey, Hocho. Yo.
Finally, the Ocho has come back to the PWC. I'm in the rain. I'm training over here in Southern California. It's raining cats and dogs. And thanks to the millions and millions. Listen, Jeff, I want to tell you a story. Can I tell you a story? Can I tell you a bedtime story?
No, I'm sick of stories.
It doesn't matter what I think.
No, that's not true. It does matter what you think, dear jabroni. And I'll tell you a little story. Once upon a time, jabroni, there was a podcaster by the name of Spiro. And he created a podcasting network. And his firstborn child was Homeboy 88. And then he had siblings. And then he had siblings. Jimmy T, Tuttles, Chris Hams, and then Jeff Lippman. So fucking jabroni, you better bow down to the older brother. Believe it or not, if you smell what the Ocho is cooking.
Well, can I ask you something? Well, that's an interesting story. Thanks for the trip down memory lane, actually, homeboy. Or is it The Rock? But why are you The Rock Ocho? Why The Rock? Oh, I get it. Don't worry. I get it, because of 88, correct?
It doesn't matter what you think.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what you think, okay?
But what's 88 in Spanish?
Ocho.
Ochenta ocho.
Is it 80 or 88?
It's 88 if you... You want to fuck it all up? You want to fuck it all up? Yeah, G's laughing in the background. And tell this jabroni to give me a fucking call, not to promise he's going to call, and then he never calls.
Who, me?
If you smell... Yeah, you.
I'm sorry, are you on AM radio?
Yeah, son of a bitch. I know, it's the distortion, Rocky. I mean, come on, man.
Ocho.
I'm running. Are you eating your microphone?
Balboa in the rain. I'm training like Rocky Balboa in the rain. I'm getting ready for I'm not getting ready for WrestleMania. And by the way, can WrestleMania go back to goddamn one night? What is this 2-night bullshit? I gotta tell you,
agree.
if this was in the fucking 80s, the VHS cassette would be fatter than fuck.
Well, I'm glad you brought up the 80s, as a matter of fact, because WrestleMania 2, WrestleMania 4 were 2-night spectaculars. Oh, no, sorry. WrestleMania 4 was like a 5-hour, 6-hour extravaganza of a tournament, if you remember. Wasn't it the $1 Million Man that won that tournament, as a matter of fact?
Jeff Lippman, I gotta ask you, is 2 nights too much? This is some bullshit.
Not for Evil Dose, because 2 times is double the fun. Jesus Christ, my ears are fucking breaking.
I'm sorry,
first of all.
you need to, for somebody who calls himself 88, you need to move out of 1974. It sounds like you're on a CB radio and you're like somewhere between Nebraska and Wyoming.
Or Tasmania for Australians out there.
Like George Norrie from coast to coast, jabroni. I'm training.
You mean Snorri?
This reminds me of when I was driving through eastern New Mexico and western Texas, and there was only one AM station before satellite radio.
Fair point. I mean,
like 4 hours of Art Bell coast to coast.
What happened to the quality, Mr. 88? I mean, seriously, you used to be sounding much better than this. Your shows sound much better than this. Why does it always sound crap when you jump on our shows?
It has to be StreamYard, jabroni. I gotta tell you, I'm gonna let you keep on with the show. I just want to tell a bedtime story to Jeff Lippman and never forget it. When you lay your head down in your bed, and oh, by the way, I gotta ask you a question. Where were you the night Lanny Poffo died, motherfucker? I'm opening a full investigation.
I was nowhere near it. I was just right above him, holding the pillow over his head. I mean, what's suspicious about that?
Oh boy. No, RIP to good old leaping Lenny Poffo.
That's why you notice that there's been no autopsy, no cause of death reported.
True. Actually, Jeff, that's actually
toxins that are hard to identify.
Not only you got lawyer connections, you got doctor connections too, you son of a bitch.
He's a doctor.
This particular concoction of venoms are from snakes native to South America, so maybe Lanny shouldn't have moved to Ecuador after all.
I actually believe what you said. I actually think it's something to do with that too. Going up in elevation, and down, and that really can affect your breathing.
Okay, I gotta go. Can you hang up on me? My phone's in my pocket and it's raining, and I can't hang up.
Are you at work?
You're just happy to see
us? I'm at work.
You prick. That's why you sound like shit.
Is that your phone in your pocket, or are you just happy to see us? Back to me.
All right, Chico. I'm going to let you go, man. Go back to work, you lazy prick.
Adios.
Okay, jabroni.
All right, ciao, man.
I should look up my dad, Spiro. I miss him.
I actually spoke to him, about 3 weeks ago.
Wow.
He's actually recovering from ankle surgery, as a matter of fact.
Really?
Yeah, he's
paratroopering injury.
That's why. That's exactly why. Yeah, exactly.
In Ukraine.
Hey, he feels, man. You know what? I wouldn't put it past him, man.
If he was younger, liberate Donbass.
Hey, well, there's a lot of overseas freedom fighters, coming over there to help out, including from here too. So
God bless him.
God bless him, man. I mean, Slava Ukraina, even though Slava Russia too, because we're still ranked in Russia.
We love our Russian fans. We just don't love your government. And they don't love you either, because if you're of the right age, they're going to put you right there in the meat grinder.
And I kid you not, we do get listeners every week coming from Russia, man. If you look at the stats, they actually do tune in, week week out. It's weird.
Yeah, but they're all the college. They're all the university professors. It's only the creme de la creme. They speak
Only
French.
the creme de la creme, absolutely.
They
The
still
cream of the
speak
crop.
Doris French.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get back to the wrestling after that debacle with the 88 guy.
It's always a debacle.
Always a debacle.
Debacle after debacle after debacle after debacle.
Yeah, we should just do a JR debacle. But anyway, where are we? We get Edge actually next, Jeff. Cause the Rated R superstar is glad and the Judgment Day is finally behind him. I don't know what that means. Is Dom behind him just quietly, or I don't know. Yeah, but anyway, Beth is back home with the girls, and he can finally refocus on what he came out of retirement to do. And Austin Theory has the potential to rule over WWE for the next 20 years. He has the physical tools, but does he have the mental strength? Edge will find out when he slaps the stupid duck face off his overly manscaped head tonight. He's running out of time to win gold too. His second ever WWE match was in Ottawa all the way back in 97. And he thinks it would be great for him to win the US title here tonight. He's thrown out a lot of... Yes.
Do you know what the length of Christian's contract is in AEW?
I don't, actually, as a matter of
He's
fact.
been there
Any...
like about 2 years.
Well, you know,
if it was
TK...
a 2-year contract, you could get an Edge and Christian reunion.
Interesting. I'll be down for that. I'll absolutely. I mean, think about it. It makes sense because
Or it
what
could be
Edge
the other
wanna...
way. I mean, Edge's 3 years is almost up. I mean, he could go to AEW as well. I don't think he would.
No, hell no. He's not an idiot. Christian might be a bit of an idiot, but Edge, yeah, Edge, no chance. I can't. You know what, dude? I'll say this: it will look weird for Edge to be in AEW. It just wouldn't
Everything
go.
looks weird until it gets old. But
I
don't
call
think
him?
he would.
Adam...
I think he's been treated pretty well as doing what he wants. But and I'm pretty sure Christian's sort of done with it. I mean, after he doesn't need to have torn triceps at 48 or whatever it is.
That's true.
But,
if Edge did go though, to AEW, just before you continue, what would you call him? Risk? I mean, seriously.
I mean, Copeland.
Constable Copeland?
Captain Copeland? I don't know.
Oh, man. Anyway, sorry for cutting you off. Continue.
Ridge? I don't
Ridge,
know.
yeah. Ridge. Or Sledge.
Countertop?
Countertop. Kitchen top. How's that? Why not?
I don't know. Granite? I have no idea.
Granite. Oh, my God.
What do you call him?
Or steel. Just steel.
Yeah. Yet another Adam.
Yet another Adam. Why
Adam
not? Or is it Atom with the ATOM?
Yeah, they've got Adam Cole. They've got Adam Page. He could be Adam 3.
Shit. Oh, I can see that. Adam 3. Just like it's like EC3, but it's Adam 3.
AC3.
So it looks like an E.
Adam Copeland. AC3. That's it right there.
AC3. Absolutely. There you go. And it's not Adam Cole either. Just saying.
Right.
But yeah, AC3 for sure.
There.
Anyway, sorry for cutting you off, but what were you originally going to say?
I have no idea.
Damn. Sorry, man. I feel bad about that one.
I'm sure it wasn't that important.
It probably wasn't. And speaking of not important, we do have the championship match. Austin Theory versus Edge for the United States Championship. And just to end it, Austin Theory obviously defeats Edge by pinfall to retain his US title. And before we move over to SmackDown, I'm going to say this. I feel bad for Canadians, dude. They don't always end up fucking losing when it matters, dude. Every time.
Well, but you're not taking the title off Austin Theory for Edge.
That's right. True. It would have been cool, but Ottawa wasn't the right sort of city. I felt like the crowd were kind of flat, to be honest.
Yeah, listen, AEW is training us into thinking you hotshot things just for the person's hometown, which is probably Tony Khan's reaction to the negative reaction to WWE always having the hometown person lose.
But it's becoming a joke now, man. Canadians always lose in Canada, dude. Like every time it feels like.
Well, I mean, but he should have lost this match. The point is, this is not a screw job. He should have lost. And Austin Theory needed a win over a legitimate star because he's sort of been winning in squirrely ways.
True. I agree. And he did win fucking pretty much clean, true. I mean,
right. Yeah, damn, I mean,
it's true.
Which is distinguishing him from MJF, who always wins in squirrely ways. Austin Theory only mostly wins in squirrely ways.
Well, let's move on to SmackDown, Jeff. And I'm not going to go through every match unless you want me to. I mean, I'll just quickly run down certain things. But we do come from Indiana, and I believe it's Evansville to be precise.
It is.
Talk about Ricky Dink back sort of backwater sort of town, I guess.
I don't know anything about Evansville, Illinois.
I've never heard of it until now. Is it Illinois? It says Indiana over here.
I've been to Evansville, Illinois. I've not been to Evansville, Illinois.
Oh, so there's another Evansville. Wow.
Yeah, but it's a suburb. But I'm guessing Evansville, Indiana is probably the site of like Indiana State University or University of Indiana, something like that.
I'm looking if there's any information. No, who cares anyway? It's Evansville. But we start off with Sami Zayn, a little preview of that. We'll get to that though towards the end. But do you want me to sort of go over Braun Strowman, Madcap Moss, and Ricochet versus Imperium?
Nah, I mean, this is just sort of a silly slap together match. Obviously, Madcap Moss ate the pin. During the match, Drew McIntyre came out, scoping out Gunther, which was sort of interesting until the Viking Raiders came up from behind him and attacked him, which brought out Sheamus. And Sheamus and Drew McIntyre beat up the Viking Raiders yet again. So, I mean, they already beat them in every match. So I don't know why the Viking Raiders are still doing this. They're very dumb. But my hope is that because Ricochet is the one who put the last move on the Viking Raiders, that maybe it's a transition to feud with Braun and Ricochet, which is fine. More of a, mid-card tag team feud or low-card tag team feud, which is fine. But to me, this was clutter. This was too much messy clutter. It sort of ruined the story of Drew scoping out Gunther. You never had Drew and Sheamus, directly looking at Gunther because of all the shit with the Viking Raiders and, all of the heels being excited for each other, except for Madcap Moss, who has now become, like, if you're in, like, a wrestling video game and you have 4 players and they give you, like, an automated wrestler as the 5th player, like, it would come out to be Madcap Moss.
He's pretty generic, that's true.
Completely generic.
Probably the most generic main roster wrestler of all time in many ways. Heck,
since El Generico.
Since El Generico.
Yeah, he's actually more generic than El Generico was.
He actually is. And El Generico was pretty generic.
Yeah.
I mean, he was. I mean, let's be
real. But Madcap Moss, he's got like the muscle-head body, but he's not that big.
He's a typical muscle-head dopey, if you know what I'm saying.
He's got dark hair. He's, ethnically ambiguous. He's, his gear is boring.
Yeah, I mean, why does he look like he belongs on the indies, dude? Like, couldn't he find something better to wear?
I don't know. I'm fine with him being the face that always loses. We just went through, 5 or 6 heels that always lose. So,
true.
No, I think they tried with Moss. There's just nothing there. He's got no personality. Or if he does, he doesn't know how to translate it onto camera into a character. But I refuse to go down the rabbit hole we went on Smack Attack where we start talking about people that don't deserve that kind of talk for too long. So I'm done with Madcap Moss for the moment.
And if you want to check that out, like I said, pay $5 and you can hear what we really feel about that, where we go deeply into it. But next, though, we've got Rey Mysterio being interviewed backstage where Santos Escobar rolls up to say there's one thing he and his familia value, and that's respect. He's had the honor of earning a mask from Rey, and he wants to show the WWE Universe how much he respects him. Rey says that's a mutual feeling, but before they can shake on it, Dominic Mysterio and Rhea Ripley roll up. Dom talks some trash, and Santos tells him he'll teach him some respect. Dom spouts off about prison, and Escobar laughs before getting in his face, but it's not his face, but rather Rhea's, and the Judgment Day mockingly wish Mysterio luck. Yeah, Santos also tells him not to let it bother him, but Rey says it's his son. How can it not be bothered? And he said something in Spanish, which they repeated, and that was that. First of all, I got a feeling Santos is going to turn on Rey.
I hope so, because face Santos is no bueno. Not interesting.
Not at all.
He's such a good heel.
Yeah, but he still came. I know he wasn't talking like a heel, but he came across kind of like a heel still, man. And
it does smell like a trap. And listen, that'd be a fine transition after the Dominic thing is done. That it was always a trap. I got your mask going to disrespect it. I don't even wear a luchador mask. You haven't been watching me the last 5 years?
Do you know what? And we didn't actually touch on this at all on Smack Attack, so we are right here. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's little Puss in Boots over here. But anyway,
is that what you call D?
That's D's cat. But anyway, yeah, he made an appearance. That was allowed.
When you've lived together for 20 years, it's your cat too.
Yes and no. It did. Anyway, I won't even tell you the backstory. But anyway, Doesn't
Try
matter.
to kill Jimmy. Cat, kill him.
He's a snobby
Scratch his
cat.
neck open. Scratch his neck open.
He's not like Chris's cat who made an appearance on Smack Attack. He wouldn't just jump on your lap and show off.
Good kitty. Come up, kill Jimmy. Kill Jimmy. Scratch his
Freaking
neck.
meowing all the time. I can't believe that's a first. A cat meowing in the background. Anyway, I hope Santos does turn on him. I've got a feeling he will, and like you said, it'll be a good transition. But what I originally wanted to talk about, and again, the damn cat threw me off. There was something I wanted to touch on that we didn't over there, and I've totally forgotten. Fucking hell!
It was about
see?
Santos.
It was about Santos.
And probably something to do with the mask.
Oh yes. Thank you.
Masks. It's Lucha Underground.
That's true. Could we possibly get Ray losing his mask against Santos?
That'd be a hell of a way to put Santos over. The strange thing about Santos is he's also like 40 plus. I mean, he might be 40 or 41, but he's not young. Look it up.
I got to see that. I will actually.
Go ahead.
Really, that old?
Yeah.
But if you notice, Jeff, is there not enough young wrestlers coming through? Because a lot of guys getting signed these days are pretty much 35 plus and up. Wow, he's 84. He's 2 years younger than me, dude. He's 38.
He's 38?
38.
Younger than I thought.
Yeah. Well, I didn't even expect him to be that old.
It's 2023. 16 plus 23 is...
I turned 41, so he's turning 39.
He's turning 39. Okay, when's he turn 39?
I'll tell you in a moment. When is his birthday? April 30th. Ooh, coming up.
Yeah, it's in 2 months. Okay.
Shit,
so he's 39.
that's bad.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, people keep themselves in better shape. Wrestling isn't a real sport for the millionth time.
But that doesn't mean it's not dangerous.
No one's saying it's not dangerous. Car racing is dangerous. That's not a sport either. Being a stuntman is dangerous. That's not a sport. I mean,
so you truly think car racing is not an actual sport?
No, they're not. I mean, not a sport in that they're not athletes. Sporting is literally anything people do for entertainment and recreation.
But they do consider that a sport.
I know. I mean, jockeys aren't athletes, but it's dangerous.
True. I mean, they would have one like big arm though, just from whipping the horse.
Well, I think the holding arm.
You're whipping the horse.
Oh my God, you!
Sorry.
Everything with you is penis. Even
because
horse
that's what
penis,
went into my head.
especially horse penis.
Did I mention the red cock before?
I mean, you're Greek. It should be center penis.
Oh, come on!
Is that the cat's name? Big penis.
Actually, no. It's called. You know what's funny? He's called Puss Puss.
It's called Big Penis Puss.
he's called
Chief
Puss
Big
Puss.
Penis.
His name Big Penis. Okay, actually, it's Puss. he's a pussy. But anyway, he's a healthy cat, man. That cat gets looked after.
I don't care about the cat.
I'm just saying. What, you
Really
don't like
care about
Ernest
the cat.
Miller or Lee Moriarty?
I love Ernest Cat Miller. I don't care about
I'm the greatest.
Moriarty.
I actually liked Ernest Miller too. But anyway, yeah.
Don't
back
you
to what
people
we're
know
saying.
I'm the greatest?
Exactly. Aren't we great? Even though that's Double J, Jeff Jarrett.
No.
Speaking of this, look, we already talked about the Usos. I'm not even going to go back over that. If you want to check that out,
we covered
go
that
back
in
to
the
hour
beginning.
number 1. Right.
Yeah.
But I will talk about this, and this is trash, Jeff. What the hell is going on with LA Knight, dude? Are we really going to get him being what we were saying earlier, like The Miz or Elias?
Yeah, no idea. Kofi doesn't need a win, and certainly not a singles win. I don't understand why he's being sacrificed to Kofi Kingston. I mean, unless he's going to go completely vicious on it, but what happens then? Who's his partner that's going to be against Xavier Woods? I mean, what? I don't understand the end game. No part of this match made sense to me. Can they make it make sense? I suppose they can, but I would
Pre-show, Jeff.
I would put that at 95-5 against them being able to make it make it sense. I don't know what I mean. They have a guy that's got ultimate charisma, has got a good look, can talk, can make shit into turn into chicken salad, and you reward that loss. Listen, I'm extremely apologetic for Bray. I feel about Bray Wyatt the way Kevin Castle feels about Karrion Kross. I will give every benefit of that. I will put myself into contortions like I'm from fucking Mum and Chance to defend it. But after LA took that loss in that way in that strange match, which was a strange match.
Strange.
You usually get rewarded, and your reward should not be losing your next televised match to Kofi Kingston, who doesn't need a singles win at all. I mean, it to me, it was
disheartening, man.
It was beyond head scratching. It was mind boggling. I don't understand it. Like, he should have beaten Kofi and then stared down Xavier, and then you have the next match, and he beats Xavier too. I mean, that's what should be happening with him if they want to build him up after that. Because
what's going to happen, Jeff? Possibly, I'm going to say this. I'm going to call it now. Baron Corbin and LA Knight versus the New Day on the pre-show at WrestleMania.
Ooh, God.
That's bad. But you can see that happening, Jeff. Come on, be honest.
I can see almost anything happening. I don't know what that shit's all about. I mean,
I'm telling you, there's a bold prediction, right? A bold prediction, sorry, not bold. I'm going to say this because after that loss with Corbin on Raw, there's nothing left for him to do there. You might as well throw him onto SmackDown out of nowhere where he just comes and attacks someone. No, I'm giving you an example because of Corbin. He's technically on Raw, right? So can't you see him being on SmackDown suddenly? But
he was on SmackDown like 8 weeks ago. They moved him to Raw.
No, I don't even know. Did he get moved officially to Raw? I don't think he did.
Yes,
they actually said that?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, there's not... You can hotshot him.
You've been losing over here, so move over there.
Back to losing. We need LA Knight to get a partner, dude. Who's he going to get?
Ghostbusters.
Who you going to call? LA Knight, that's for sure. Yeah.
I don't know. Whatever it is, it's all sucky. Shouldn't Bobby Roode be back sometime soon? I mean,
I forgot all about him.
Sure.
Really? Glorious Nights. Oh, I can see
Glorious Nights.
I can see it. Sounds like Boogie Nights, but I'm cool with it.
That's all right. Boogie, nothing wrong with Boogie Nights. Nothing wrong with like a Fantastics Chippendales kind of.
That would be brilliant.
Fantastics, the fabulous ones.
Yeah, why not? I mean, shit.
Is some ridiculous tag team in NWA doing that now, where they're wearing the bow ties and wearing sparkly vests?
We're getting American Males 2.0.
Yeah, sure, exactly. Why not?
American Males. Remember that?
Yes, of course I do. But this was one of the parts of SmackDown that I hated. Not just disliked, not just meh, hated it. Like meh was the women's match. Natalya versus Shayna. She loses, so that's the good part with the whole thing with Tegan Knox. Who cares? The whole thing, meh. We had a little funny line at the end. That was meh. This thing with LA Knight, hated it.
No, I agree. And it's a shame, too, because he's way more talented than what he's being portrayed. And you know what? You could see... Did he look disheveled, Jeff? He looked unshaven. Looked like he hadn't slept.
But, like, people are behind him. People know that he's good. So it's like, this isn't the time to be doing this kind of shit.
Eli Drake was one of my favorite... Or one of the reasons for me to tune into damn Impact Wrestling. And I hated it then. That's straight up.
And he was great on NWA also.
No doubt, right before his WWE run.
I wonder if they'll bring in Cameron Grimes because they have nothing else to do with him.
I don't
bring them back together to beat the New Day at. Well, they said Cameron Grimes been called up, but they have nothing. They have no plans for him.
I don't believe that. Why call him up though? Then what's the point? Just keep him on NXT. Let him go to the moon for all I care.
Believe me, you hear me complain about the NXT men's division all the time. It is they have like 8 guys worth of them, and the rest of it's garbage. Absolutely,
too many women. Let's be honest.
No, the women are great.
They are great.
I mean, conversely, they have too many great women. They should have their own show. But
that's what I mean.
But Cameron Grimes would be more interesting in NXT. But does he deserve to be on the main roster? Yeah. Do I think that he's going to be a big deal? Not really, but people seem to like sort of like the lovable loser. He's got the to the moon and people like that. I mean, I could see him selling shirts. Anyway, I don't know. But yeah, hated this. I don't know when the women's match was, but we might as well skip to it. And Shayna Baszler basically easily beats Natalya, who was already injured and barely got cleared, only when Tegan Knox promised to watch her back. And at the end, she did, in fact, watch her back, and Shayna and Ronda Rousey ran away from Twinkie Tegan Knox, and Ronda Rousey led. Who's that? And Shayna Baszler goes, "It's Tegan Knox, don't worry about it." She goes, "She looks like Skittles. You're going to taste the rainbow next week, Skittles." So that was funny.
It was a good line, I won't lie. But like you said, it's unrealistic for someone like Shayna Baszler and Ronda fucking Rousey to be running away from some skittle looking.
Heels want to fight on their terms and their time.
But that's fine in a traditional professional wrestling setup, yeah. But the problem here is it's Ronda Rousey and Shayna Baszler, who people know were two killers in real life.
And Ronda
That's
Rousey
the problem.
was trash. Ronda Rousey didn't come off a match. She was just on the outside. It's one thing with Shayna Baszler's like, I already wrestled once tonight. I don't get paid to do 2 matches. But
fair enough.
Yeah. But no, yeah, I mean, you're right. But I didn't hate it. Listen, I agree. Tegan Nox is not a threat. Nobody should be running away from Tegan Nox except maybe Candice LeRae or Dakota Kai. I mean,
and she's got no chance of actually catching him because she'll literally fall over because her knees are like that shot.
Right. But they have been saying that they're going to do an injury angle with Tegan Nox, which next week Ronda Rousey absolutely destroying her.
Please.
Now instead of the legs, which are Tuesday, she'll probably do her shoulder, and that will be that can be the injury angle. But yeah, anyway,
off
like
TV,
I said,
here we come.
Like this was just meh. But what does this have to do with the road to WrestleMania? Nothing if it's not going to be about Shayna and Ronda going for the women's tag team titles. But there's no talk of that. You've got Damage Control possibly in the 6-woman match we talked about earlier, or with Lita against Lita and Becky, or Trish and Becky. I mean,
it's a mess. It's a real mess right now, Jeff. It's starting to become very messy.
So I don't know. Maybe they'll have to put together some women's tag teams and do like a fatal 4-way on the pre-show to find out the new number 1 contender for whoever prevails. I don't know. Whatever.
They're screwing up their WrestleMania run now, like the road to it. They really are. They're starting to screw it up. They were doing well, and now they're really messing up a lot of things, man, on the road to WrestleMania.
They are. I mean, they're lucky the bloodline thing is almost bulletproof. They're lucky Ray against Dominic, sells itself. They're lucky that Edge against either Finn or Damian Priest makes sense. They're lucky because they have the Royal Rumble, so you have, both, and they did the Elimination Chamber well, so both women's title matches make sense. So they've got all that stuff that makes sense. Logan Paul and Seth Rollins make sense. John Cena and Austin Theory, it makes sense. And so you've got the outside star power thing there. You always have the rumors, whether they're true or not, of The Rock looming over it, which in Hollywood makes sense. So I mean, they've got their top card there, but I don't know what So
WrestleMania, because it is a spectacle, let's be real, obviously. You're right. It's basically going to be booked like it's going to be 2 nights of an exhibition, other than the Bloodline stuff.
Well, I don't think so, but they may have
feels that way.
They may have to do some hotshot booking because, like, at least Raw mostly felt like it was building towards something.
It does, yeah. You're right.
I mean, and listen, I'm not a big complainer about Brock Lesnar. Almost, I think, especially if Omos wins.
Again, another mess.
He should, but at least there's a 3 or 4 week build to it. I don't know exactly what's going on with Bray Wyatt and Bobby Lashley, but at least it was set up. It's not coming out of nowhere. So at least there's stuff there. But they're going to need to put 4 or 5 matches on each night that are just sort of slapped together.
So now it's not going to make sense. Like the Omos thing, I'm confused now because of Bray Wyatt, right? Mm-hmm. And now we also got Brock Lesnar supposedly making his appearance,
right?
To answer the challenge. Unless he comes out because he's such a badass, he comes out and says, "Yeah, well, I'll take on Bray night 2, and I'll take out Omos night 1." Could we possibly get that?
Well, but I think it's possible. But Bray said he's targeting the winner of the Brock Lashley match, and that was Lashley. And in the Firefly Funhouse, he only showed Lashley. There was no allusion to Brock Lesnar. So I think that's done. I think people are putting them still together because they think that the Omos thing is a swerve. I think it might be too, and that they're trying. Everybody wants the Hurt Business back together, but maybe that doesn't happen until after WrestleMania.
Okay, I'm cool with it if it happens on the Monday after Raw. After Mania, because I can just see it. It'll be a scene. Everyone from overseas will be in the building. It'll be a raucous crowd. I could just see it. But the only problem is people are going to cheer that, man.
Right. And Riddle's supposed to be coming back at some point this month.
I don't even care about
the month's
Riddle
almost over, but there is one more Monday before the month is over. So,
well, I will say this: Riddle is eventually going to get himself fired from WWE. I can just see it, dude.
Probably. I
can see it.
I don't see a bright future for that not so young man. I hope Randy Orton comes back. I don't know. There's
That's
stuff.
even up in the air.
Yeah, there's stuff. I mean, listen, they'll probably do an Andre Battle Royal. They'll throw together stuff. I mean, I'm not particularly worried about there being a card. I mean, I don't know if we're gonna get Elias and Rick Boogs at each other's throat by then. I don't know if we'll get Otis and Bronson Reed fighting by then, or if it'll be
and Maxine breaks them up, stops them from fighting each other, and then brings them as a team. I can see that.
Maximum Male Models fighting for the right to Otis's contract, with Chad Gable. Chad Gable has to find another partner. I don't know.
Actually, I can see that happening. I can see Chad Gable being in, I don't know, I think it'll be on a Raw, technically. But I can see Chad Gable wrestling, one of the Maximum Male Models for Otis's service.
Right.
And then he loses.
Yeah, he's got to lose. But I don't know who he would bring in, but it'd be funny if he brought in... I mean, I don't want to see this, but the only thing that makes sense for them to bring in Dijak, Mace's ex-partner.
Oh, please. No. It'd be funny, but no, man.
Oh, well,
but I can see him being part of it.
Well, who else are you going to have? He's going to bring... That's how they're going to introduce Jay White? I mean, or Eric Young?
Eric Young. Dane? Eric Young will be part of the Wyatt Six. I'm going to say it now, if he's not already.
I mean, Sanity sort of makes sense for that. I mean, listen,
but we didn't see
Killian Dane would make a perfectly acceptable Huskus the Pig.
He is a pig, just quietly.
Eric Young could definitely be Rambling Rabbit.
He rambles, so yeah, I mean, absolutely. Actually, he'd be perfect for fucking... But really,
actually, Spud would be great for that, and he could be Mercy the Buzzard. I mean, it all works.
What about Dunn being the rabbit?
Who's Dunn?
As in fucking, what's his first name, dude?
Butch?
The producer. No, not
Kevin
that Dunn. Kevin Dunn, yeah.
He
should be the rabbit.
Never be on camera.
With those teeth, he could be the rabbit.
He should never be on camera.
What up, Doc? Anyway, well, I think Eric Young will definitely be part of this so-called Wyatt Six, if that is even a thing.
I could go with that. I mean, that's fine. He's crazy enough.
But I will say this, it's borderline getting too cartoony for me in a way.
I like cartoony. I unapologetically love the Dungeon of Doom. They should have beaten Hulk Hogan. Love them.
Oh, come on.
The Zodiac,
I love Kevin Sullivan,
Shark.
Booty Man, the Shark, Earthquake. Earthquake, the Shark. Well, that's like saying Edge is going to be,
everything was better than the next. The Hall of Mirrors, so good.
What was Zeus, Tiny Lister, when he jumped over to WCW? What did they call him again?
I think it was like Big Z.
Oh, that's it. Big Z. It was Big Z. But with a Z-double-E or something like that. Mm-hmm. So stupid, man. But, WCW was the best at stupid fucking... the Shark. And he had shark face paint on.
Bill and Trench in AEW. So, which, by the way, AEW just is the sequel to WCW 2000. So, I mean,
2000. That's it. Not 90s.
I've been saying this since 2019 that it's WCW 2000 and fast forward. And I said they're running out of gimmicks so quickly. What I didn't realize is they were going to rerun every gimmick unapologetically 5 or 6 times within 3 years.
This is another bold prediction. And look, I hope I'm wrong. I really do. But AEW has the potential to be the quickest company to ever fold in the history of professional wrestling.
Well, they already have, because Control Your Narrative already has.
Oh, no, but that's an indie promotion. Actually, WWA was that.
What about Herb Abrams' UWF?
That was pretty quick, too. But it was, actually, that's a good comparison. Because UWF was kind of a big deal when it first started. Right. And then it just went straight down real fast. Right down.
One show nobody went to, nobody bought it, done.
No, you're right. That's actually a great comparison. I don't want this to happen, but I'm telling you, I don't care how much money you've got. Keep going down this way.
I was actually thinking about this, that Tony Khan shouldn't have bought Ring of Honor. What he should have bought is Sinclair. and then he would have had something that maybe has assets
that the network
would like, and he has TV.
No, you're right.
For all of the shows he wants to do.
But how much?
He could put Dark on TV. He could put Elevation on TV. He could put Rampage on TV. He could Battle of the Belts on TV. He could put Ring of Honor on TV. He could do an all-women's show on TV. He could do whatever he wanted if he just bought Sinclair. And they just rerun the same shows 18 times a week like WoW. And you aggregate it like WoW, and it looks like, and your numbers look like you're doing Dynamo. You run them live once, and then you rerun it 6 times. Some days you might rerun it 6 times during the day.
I will say this: Ring of Honor, like I said it before, it's gonna fail, man. The way he set it up right now, there is no chance of that succeeding. He's giving it no chance to succeed in the first place. That's how ignorant this guy truly is, man. He's ignorant, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like I can't put it any other way. But anyway, let's go back to SmackDown, and we'll talk about a couple more things, and then we'll end the show. But I want to touch on Karrion Kross versus Rey Mysterio. I mean, should we talk more about Karrion, or should we let the people pay $5 and see what we have to say over there?
Listen, I'm going to go with the wrestling fans aren't spending money needlessly, so I'm gonna say we should probably talk about it, but not as long as we should.
Not as long, but let's quickly talk a little bit about it. Again, cut the hair, like you say.
Yeah.
And Jesus Christ, make this guy seem something. He's got nothing to him. There is nothing about him that truly feels like he's a killer, man.
No, he doesn't feel like a killer. And that's his whole act, is to be a methodical killer. If you're going to do that, you have to kill.
He's so stale, and it's so sad. And unfortunately, this is an experiment that's not working. And heck, he said it himself this past week in an interview that he doesn't like how he's being booked in WWE. He came out and said that publicly. Now watch, he's really going to get buried for saying it.
I don't know what to say. I mean, he's been booked by 2 different people. At some point, it's on him to do something interesting. I mean,
it is.
The way he sells taking offense, it's too over the top. He looks like he's too easy to hurt. And it was like a clever part. He said, "Ray, I've seen this before. I know your tricks." And then he fell for his other tricks. I mean,
even control your narrative, right? How about you do some sort of work at home, right? Make a little vignette or a little interview, that you're just doing, and then hand it over, that you want to do, that is, and hand it over to Triple H and say, "Look, I did this. What do you think?" You know what I mean? Literally control your narrative. Do something, do some work to make them invest in you and show them why they should push you and make you look like a killer. Because really, it seems like he's being lazy himself. He's not really doing anything to make himself look better. He just sits there, obviously, and gets thrown this bullshit and goes along with it. If they're not going to book
him to win, he has to change his style. I've said he needs to come in there like Nikita Koloff or Road Warrior Hawk. He needs to come in there. He needs to kill people. He's coming in there. He's wrestling at the same pace as Bray Wyatt and Dexter Lumis. They've already got too many, spooky guys doing.
That's another
he's gotten
problem.
rid of the spooky. I don't think anything about the act is like everything involves Scarlet, and now he needs distraction. So, putting him in a battle with Ray was a mistake from the beginning, because he was always with Dom and Judgment Day. That was always overshadowing it. So hopefully it's done now. Maybe he'll move on to Santos. I don't know, but Santos
lose that probably too.
But I prefer Cross go over than Santos go over.
I don't know, man. I don't know what you do at this point, but do something, Kevin, or carry on, whatever you want to carry on, literally.
You got to do something. But the first is cut that hair, because the hair ain't doing it. Now maybe you're growing it
and hit the gym more.
You have a hairstyle in mind that you're going for. It needs to be long enough before you get there.
Yeah, but see, that's another problem.
I'm tired of saying "but" for him. I feel like I'm saying "but" too often.
We are, but his look is also an issue, and that's on him.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but sorry, Kev. We love you, man. We thought you were the real deal at one stage, that's for sure. But hey, here at the PWC, we don't sugarcoat things. You know what? I'll talk to you off the air anyway about that, but it'll be an interesting sort of take of how we sort of do this when we possibly have someone with us doing a review.
We'll be doing Raw, so we won't have to.
Well, we could be SmackDown, though. It could be SmackDown, too. It just depends on him. But anyway, we'll see. I'll talk to you off the air about that. But anyway.
Let's talk about the Firefly Funhouse.
Yes. The Firefly Funhouse, and then there was one more thing I wanted to bring up, which is...
I don't know exactly what I saw, but I loved it.
The production looked great. I loved what I saw, but...
I mean,
doesn't make sense.
Can you keep a secret? Can you keep a secret? And then there was 666 in a line. Alexa Bliss's box was at the bottom of the door.
Box?
They had like an actual like box, like a toy box.
Yeah.
They had something with the Uncle Howdy doing the weather, saying and
That's
Chris,
weird
Uncle
too.
Sam said, I am all of you. I didn't
I am everyone.
Right. And Bray said that I'm the serpent with the 7 horns and the 10 crowns. Well, Jesus Christ, that's from Revelations and QAnon, which is basically the same thing.
QAnon, yes.
And I mean, that was all awesome. And like, the monsters never die. Every hero needs to kill a monster, but this is not facey behavior. I mean, and the good thing is Lashley's a face.
Is he?
I think.
Yeah, exactly. Ish.
Yeah, I'm not even sure anymore. I don't know. That's another weird thing that's going on with WWE. There's too many tweeners. Like this AEW does too many tweeners, and I don't know. But whatever it was, like I definitely didn't get all the symbology. I'm sure I missed 100 different Easter eggs in there.
You have to watch it more than once.
This is what I love about Bray Wyatt. This creativity, and this is why I give him every benefit of the doubt, because I don't even know what I'm looking at, but I know that it's interesting and there's some meaning to it, and I want to think about it more.
Well, you know what? This reminds me of what Triple H said in an interview. I think it was the one with Errol Hawani, where he asked him about Bray, and he summed it up perfectly, because I can just see the way shit's being done. He's too creative for his own good. And I feel like this Firefly Funhouse is exactly what he means, because it was great, like you said, but what does it mean? Why the Antichrist stuff? It doesn't make sense if you're going to face Bobby Lashley, dude.
Well, if you're going to go full evil and try to kill him, which could be a DQ. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but yeah, I mean, I understand what Triple H is saying, and it's the same thing you could say about Vince Russo. He was too creative for his own good. He needed editors. It's different kind of thing. Matt Hardy, his broken universe was great, but it got absurd and it didn't work in everything. He needed an editor. So yeah, Bray Wyatt needs an editor, but I'm mostly enjoying the ride. I didn't really love the pairing with LA Knight. I didn't love the match, but I sort of liked the build to it. It was interesting. As long as things are interesting, I'm okay with it. So I don't know. I don't know where it's going, but I'm still very much invested in what is the Wyatt 6. What's it going to turn into? Whatever people say, Alexa Bliss is better with him than without him.
Right now, that's true.
Yeah, that act works. The Alexa's not going to be a premier wrestler again. Nobody wants her to be a premier wrestler again. There's actually women who are Amazons now who can wrestle.
That's true too.
So this is career sustaining for her. She'll sell a ton of merch. She'll barely have to touch anyone, and she'll look cool doing it. And she'll have fun. She's a good actress. She's
a decent wrestler too in the ring. When she wants to go, she can go.
But all she has to do is like what Zelina Vega's doing, and every now and then be an antagonist outside, or give a thrust kick to the head or something. That's great.
Zelina though is bad in the ring though. To be fair,
I'm not gonna go there with.
Come on.
But anyway, if anybody has insights onto this Firefly Funhouse, things that they caught that I didn't catch, or things that I did catch but you didn't hear me say on either of the two shows today, please let us know at the PWC, the PWC Network at gmail.com.
That's exactly that's good stuff, Jeff. That is exactly the email address. So don't be shy.
Or a Facebook group, or both. Don't choose.
Preferably Facebook. You can even message us there, or Twitter. Yeah, absolutely.
The good thing about
people
Facebook
have
is
been
that everyone in the group will see it, and then you'll get some interaction. But yeah,
and thanks to everyone on Twitter too, because we have been getting questions actually to answer on Twitter. As a matter of fact, I think we do have a question, or did we answer that on Smack Attack? Because I did bring it up. Oh, yeah, it was the White 6 question. We already said our piece about it there and now, but I don't like it. If it's a White 6 against her business, that was the question. I don't like it one bit because it hurts either one of these teams losing. It's just me.
Well, I don't mind that so much. It depends how you lose and what
if it's the first up matchup. I mean, between both groups, that's bad. Later on down the line, that's fine. Doesn't matter who loses, but right now,
Right, later on down the line, it's got to be a feud that lasts, 3
Survivor
to 6
Series
months.
makes more sense if you're going to do that.
But if you want good storylines and good matches, you have to make a hard choices. Somebody's got to lose.
Right. No, you're right. And before we go, Jeff, the last thing I do want to talk about is, if you want to, but the Dominic Charlotte segment.
Well, I like the Dominic Charlotte segment. I think Charlotte did well. I like the exchange between Dominic and Charlotte. Comparing their daddy issues versus non-daddy issues, which aren't true.
What? They would have known each other all the way from when they were younger. I guarantee it, because Ray and Ric Flair both went over to WWE pretty much at the same time after WCW went bust.
Yeah, and happy birthday to Ric Flair. Happy 74th birthday. It's your birthday, you fucking lunatic. And
smoking a freaking joint. Yeah, I know. He's actually posted a picture of himself looking sharp. I actually liked his look, and he had a freaking joint in his hand.
Why not? Just
74, man, a joint in his hand.
Listen, joints are cheaper than the booze he likes to drink, and they'll kill him more slowly.
As a matter of fact, stick to the joints over the booze, man.
Absolutely.
Seriously.
Mellow out. Nobody needs drunk grandpa.
No, hell no. Because you know what happens there? We're going to get another match. Woo!
Right.
But I will say this. Look, if you really want to hear us talk Dominic, I don't want to spoil it, because we really absolutely break down all sorts of shit. We were all had different opinions about what we think about Dominic. $5. You can hear a little argument over there. So we won't get into that argument. But yeah, we both agree that we both liked the segment. It was cool. But it just felt like Rhea was an afterthought in this segment, which doesn't make sense, really. Right,
but it was fine because Charlotte's heels were so high, and she was so much taller than Dominic, but she was like 6 inches taller than Rhea. So I think that maybe bringing Rhea out at all was a mistake.
Well, she didn't hop into the ring, did she?
Yeah, she did. They did face to face, except it was a neck to face.
Neck to face. Wow. Yeah, see, she should have stayed out of the ring, because, the perception looks bad. Because Rhea, I think, is taller than Charlotte. As a matter of fact, Charlotte's only like 5'8" in real life.
I don't know where that's only for a woman.
That's tall. That's tall, absolutely. When I say that, I'm talking about, compared to a man, obviously. I'll double check just to be sure.
I think she might be tall. I think she might be a 5'10", but I'm not sure.
No, you reckon? Really? You think?
I've never checked. I'm just going by what I think.
She is. Wow, you're right. Shit. 5'10", dude.
There you go.
Fuck. That's bad. She's as tall as us.
I always win at those carnival things when they say guess the weight.
5'10". God damn it. That's her build height, but I'll take it though.
With a wrestling boot, she's probably 6 feet most of the time.
She does look tall, I won't lie. That's true. I think Rhea Ripley's around the 5'8" mark.
Yeah, I think she's more like 5'7", 5'8".
But just to be sure, I'll double check that. But like I said, $5. Check out Smack Attack. I don't think anyone in the podcasting world has broken down Dom like we have, man. I'm telling you.
Certainly not Lance Archer.
That's true too. But I will point out, it's funny because I was looking at the comments about when we were arguing about Dom, and this is a little preview. There was so split. There was people that agreed with me. There was people that agreed with you. There was people that agreed with Chris and John. And it's funny because everyone was split on Dominic, dude. You ask certain people, they've got something different to say, which makes it kind of interesting.
And that's fine. And listen, that's why you have to keep tuning in to the real shows and our shows.
Absolutely. And if this was the Friday Night Smack Talk, I guess we would have broken it down a little more. But it's Smachismo, and we did do a Smack Attack. So
it means we're smushing them all. So we're still giving you close to 2.5 hours of content, and one show instead of two. So while it seems like a long show, it really isn't, because instead of giving you two 2-hour shows, we're giving you 1 2.5-hour show, but covering 5 hours of wrestling content.
Right, and I think we got a well-deserved hour break, I think, till we do Uncaged, maybe 2. I don't know.
You said 7 o'clock Chris's time,
your time.
Oh,
6
7
p.m. his time. Yes.
So 2 hours.
Oh, that's a good.
It's 5 of 5 right now, Eastern.
All right, cool.
So 2 hours. That's fine.
That's fine. Absolutely fine. All right, Jeff. You know what? I think we're done. Oh, I wanted to say one more thing. You didn't see that Vince McMahon Easter egg, did you?
I didn't see the Vince McMahon what?
The Vince McMahon Easter egg on SmackDown.
No, but I heard you say it on Smack Attack, and I remember seeing a guy in the hallway, but it looked like a young kid with like.
No, this guy was wearing a suit. This guy was wearing a suit. He looked big, like a tank.
Mm-hmm.
And look, I don't think it was Vince, but it was someone definitely playing Vince because the hair looked, unless he colored his hair, it looked too full though, his hair a bit. But I'm telling you,
Listen,
it looked like
if
Vince.
McMahon was in Evansville, Indiana at the show, it would have been all over the dirt sheets. Vince McMahon spotted in Evansville.
Oh, no. Like I said, I don't think it was Vince, but this guy was definitely acting like it was Vince though.
Well, I didn't see it. I didn't note it. I don't. They have done a good job of putting lots of people in the background, and sometimes you have to look at it, and sometimes it's just staffers, and sometimes it's just extras or whatever. They're all always looking at their phone, pretending they're doing something important. So
true, but this guy purposely didn't turn around. Look, if I can find a picture, I'll show you. But because I think you will agree
most of them
with
are
me.
told when they're going to be near the camera and to not turn around.
That's true. No, you're right. Well, Jeff, you know what, man? Let's take it home because we done a long show, but it was actually not that long considering we did 2 shows, the 2-for-1 with the Smachismo. So, Jeff, tell them where they can find you, man.
You can find me at IcarusFellMD on Twitter. You can find me on lots of shows on the PWC, and now 2 shows on Channel Attitude, Hameen Media Group, Uncaged, and Smack Attack. And you can find all of my shows on the PWC, the Wrestling Soup Network, PW Hustle. You can find 2 out of 3 of them on Hameen Media Group. Probably things I'm forgetting, but Garden Doom and Garden Views. Garden Doom is things that go bump in the night and UFOs and some pop culture and cryptids. Did a proper Bigfoot show today. That's actually the title of it, with the Bigfoot doctor himself. And that was really cool. And Garden Views tends to be more topical. And this week I'm dropping a show with the one and only, the legendary Kevin Castle. But we talk about wrestling? No, but he always talks a little wrestling. But mostly it's about his life in the music business and booking clubs and acts and things like that.
Is that a Garden of Doom?
That's going to be a Garden Views.
Okay, that makes more sense. That's
a Garden Views. So, which is, but that's an example. Garden Views are more mainstream types of interviews, more topical. A lot of times it's legal, but in this case, not particularly. Anyway, and my other wrestling podcast is Hammerlock Hangover with Big Daddy Cool's Steve Pena. We haven't dropped an episode in about a month, so.
Esteban, where are you, dude?
Esteban Pineapple.
Esteban Pineapple. Come on, bro. We miss you, man. Where the hell are you, man? Jesus. No more Hammerlock Hangover. Has he even spoken to you since?
Sure.
Oh, okay. That's
He told me Tuesday. He goes, I think I can record tonight. Then I never heard from him again.
Oh, Steve. Well, I'm not Steve, but hopefully we see Steve. So, yeah, whatever's going on, man, hurry up and get back and do some Hammerlock Hangover because it's been too long, man. It's been 2 weeks, right? 3 weeks?
He's a true Latino man. He's got like 32 kids.
Pull the handbrake, like I said.
Too late.
Saying. Too late indeed. Well, anyway, he's married, right? Yeah, I'm just double checking. Anyway, what are you trying to say, Jeff?
He's very ugly.
Not as ugly as us. Come on.
No, he's not as ugly as me.
No, please, we're hot stuff. Man.
I mean, I'm very, very ugly. He's only very ugly.
Well, anyway, if you want to follow me, you can on Twitter at the PWC Network and also at DJ Mass Effects. Please like and subscribe at channelattitude.com. As we were just saying, for $5, you get to see me and Jeff and Chris and whoever's joining us, including John, talk all things AEW and now talking WWE. Particularly, we cover all the Friday night shows. How's that? That's what we do over there at channelattitude.com via Hameen Media Group. And also, tune in about 2 hours. We go live for Rampage Uncaged for HMG and channelattitude.com. So don't miss out on that. I'm sure we have a lot to say about that, as a matter of fact. And also like and subscribe at the pwcnetwork.podbean.com. Heck, even subscribe onto our YouTube channel at the PWC Network. We're everywhere, man. Also like and subscribe at Twitch. So wherever you listen or download your favorite podcast, we're there. So in saying that, I'm Jimmy T. That is Evil Dose, Jeff Lippman, and you've been listening and watching the Saturday edition of the Smachismo right here on the PWC Network. And we're out of here. Peace.
Stay evil, my friends.